everybody!
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, is that Mark?
Oh, hi,
You in
Mark.
there, Mark?
Is it already a little warm?
Yeah, it is actually.
Yes, yes, I have had the first trickle of sweat
Oh,
going
yeah.
down the back of my spine, and
Maybe it's
my
this side of the rim.
I'm alright at the minute. It's warming up.
Roasted meat.
Well, it is gold spell in the land
It
of
is,
Asher. The equivalent of the summer months, the warm times.
Have they got global warming in Asher as well?
Oh, that's a very good question. Nobody knows
These
anything about
elves
history.
definitely do, don't they?
If they haven't recorded history, they don't know if it's got any warmer. So maybe it's the hottest day since records began because there are no records.
record
Yeah,
started
that's
yesterday.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's warmer than yesterday. It's the hottest day since records began.
We have a full group, or just about, apart from
He who shall not be named.
he who should not be named, who will return at some stage.
Josh.
Yeah, he will be
Named.
named. He shall
Done
be
it.
named. Hi,
Named
Josh.
and
Hi,
shamed.
Josh. Hope you're doing
Hi,
well.
Josh.
We miss you dearly. I'm going to put up with this lot in the meantime.
Of course you miss me. Don't call me dearly.
Oh, Lord.
We play Dungeons and Dragons.
Apparently.
We're on episode about 19 or 20. It will say in the link below if you're watching on YouTube.
It's equivalent to my bar tab.
Just gonna.
Still looking.
Hello, boys. Pink lemonade?
Mom!
Gnome World.
Gnome
Is
World.
anybody from Cornwall
I
and
cut
been
back
to
just
Gnome
as-
World?
Just as you said no.
Gnome World.
Gnome, there's a G-O-N?
Yeah.
Gnome?
Gnome.
Wow.
Gnome World.
How far? I'm Google
Long
Mapsing
way.
it right now. D&D can wait. I'm sorry.
Gnome World. I've been to Diggerland.
No,
Diggerland is. I haven't been, but I've
And
heard
Bee
amazing
World.
tales.
Monkey World.
Monkey World.
Monkey World. Get the best books.
Today we are in Fantasy World, also known as Asher, playing the Star Engine. Last time in a place called Alice Manor, which you discovered, you were, should we say, raiding the coffers at the mansion, trying to find all the treasure you could. You found a heavy tapestry. You found some nice cheese, a nice
cheese.
robe, and you also managed to crack
Oh, I did
or
have a
open the safe under the floorboards in the office and discover a couple of trinkets.
Yeah, you missed out on all the loot.
You also gave over the, you also gave over
My
Oh,
new
dear.
service!
also gave over the manor to Weir and his new house servant Hungus, formerly Lord Hungus, at the same time as evicting the child
Really?
Tyrus, which is where we pick up this episode, having just left the manor and returning south. You were beginning to return south as the episode ended, and that is where we will pick up.
I'm wandering through the woods music.
Yes. Crying children.
Yeah.
Teenagers, not even children.
Where are we going? We're not here yet.
Come on, poetry.
I don't know where we, the collective of us guys, are going today.
Me and Malcolm have proved that we're not very good
Well, I
at
was gonna have
talking
a second verse,
to
but
juvenile.
whatever.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
It's alright.
Remember, the Elvish arts are very different to the
This
Gnomish
was a
arts.
rare double wood elf haiku, but no, you scuppered it.
Sorry,
Thought it is gonna go and just kick some bark around.
used to see you counting on your digits.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't
see,
spot
you-
it that time. That's the only way I know you're performing
That's
poetry.
it. As far as
I
we're
watch.
concerned, unless you are doing this while you're saying the poems,
Yeah.
it's not a poem.
Yeah.
well, I've spent a week practice.
Have you?
So
It's only been 10 minutes, Thorin. Where'd this week come from?
What is week? What is
Oh, that's
time?
true.
You forget that wolf elves. It's getting a bit hot in here, isn't it? I think I might have sunstroke. Ignore me. Carry on. We're walking through the woods.
Tyrus looks back one more time over her shoulder
Thinking, what the hell have I let myself
at the manor house, the large stone manor house. As you walk down the steps, past the shaggy grass one more time, looks over her shoulder, breathes deeply, and walks forward and doesn't look back again.
Alright. Some fiery spirit right there. Well done. You do alright.
In front of you, as you are heading back south along the only path in this area, which is the very same way you came, the trail that you followed initially, stands Silden, staring straight back at you. The last thing you remember is what I told you. And just for who's leading?
Tyrus.
Tyrus.
Yeah, I think she's probably the bravest
Okay.
of us.
As Silden stood there staring back at you, looking toward you, she stops. Did you see that behind him?
Mind who?
What?
No.
What am I doing here? What happened to Weir? What happened?
What did happen?
Where did you go? Last time we saw you, you were in the bedroom.
I don't remember anything. Weir was in front of me, and then I wasn't there anymore, and everything was grey.
What was that behind you?
Behind you?
Silver's going very slowly.
Did we see anything?
You didn't, Nate.
No.
The lady behind you,
The lady, what did she look like?
horns.
Interesting.
She was there, and
Well,
Does
did you
anybody
see
have
any colour?
detect magic?
No.
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 Did you see any colour?
she was just like an outline.
Did she have wings?
I don't know.
Did they leave? Do you see them go? Or
She was just there, and then I turned to tell you, and she wasn't there. Oh, maybe I'm imagining it.
It's been a long day.
It has been a very trying time.
What happened to Silden anyway?
I'm more interested in why we're currently party to a small girl.
Well, we thought you were going to do the job.
I was.
Wait.
So this is the alternative?
Unfortunately, we've bargained the manor away for the price of
Right.
for the 2,000 gold settlement. There wasn't a lot of money in there. There was a small fortune, 400 gold, which unfortunately we didn't get. But we got a couple of items, which we don't know what they are. I've got a book.
Right.
Got a book. And I can actually hand this book to Silden. I reckon it's going to be good in his hands. Let me just
Look.
remind myself what the book is. I think maybe Malcolm's got an orb, or Thorin got an orb. One of us has it.
I haven't got anything.
I did have the orb. Unfortunately, my notes have
Disappeared.
disappeared.
If it disappeared, you've lost it.
They're
That's the
here,
rule, isn't it?
they're here somewhere.
No, it's here, I promise. So what's this book about?
It's a tax book.
Nice.
But
Thank you.
no, it's not a tax book. It isn't a tax book. No, it's a good book. Sorry, I'm just rummaging through my It's the Book of Leadership and Influence.
Oh, that sounds useful.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was taxes. There was lots of paperwork to do with taxes, and we found out that the Alice Manor, can't remember the Lord's name, was dealing a lot with what was his name now? I've forgotten his name.
His name was Lord Bainwen.
Lord Bainwen, and he was the
Dealing with the gold man.
oh,
He was dealing. They were periodically delivering the proceeds from the taxation to a man named Lord Osmium.
Osmium, yes. Heard that name Osmium before. He trades in lots of materials, I believe.
Okay.
Material vendor.
So, Book of Leadership.
And Influence.
And it's quite a thick, heavy book. It's written on the front. Is the Tome of Leadership and Influence in Elvish, I believe I said.
Cool.
I believe it's written in Elvish.
I learned Elvish over 2
Tome.
years.
It's big, heavy, massive, great book.
You
Quite
should
unique.
read it. You're very good at influence.
No, it hasn't got any. It hasn't got any blueprints though, has it? I'll have a flick through. There's no like boiler engines or
You
anything.
can't influence people with boiler engines.
Wow! Did you see the Destructo bot
That's
5000?
true, it was very influential.
Jesus, yeah.
It was very
Wasn't he
controlling.
one? It was very controlling. Malfunctioning, but
Certainly give it a look, it sounds like it could be
There's
useful.
a
Yeah.
difference between a manager and a leader right there.
the Destructo bot 5000. Is he the leader or the manager?
It's a manager.
He's a manager. Okay.
We want to be leaders.
Yeah, I got my my bean of sage.
That's true.
Got a bean of sage. Seed of sage.
How do we
can't
save
need it,
ourselves
yeah.
out of this teenage girl problem?
We'll drop. We're heading. Well, we know we need to go back and get the carrying automobile
Of course.
rotator, which we're dropping them off there.
Okay,
Daddy used to be responsible for this place,
right.
so
So they're going to love her.
yeah, I think so.
Mm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because we've seen how young girls turn out in this
Or
village.
at least
surely.
collect the taxes from here,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
then
So her father heavily taxated the townspeople.
I didn't read the documents. Maybe, probably, yeah,
Right.
probably.
So we're dropping off an underage elven girl to a town of people that used to be taxed by her father.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's
Either
just thought,
that
I just thought
Yeah.
Or leave
say all of that out loud.
Leave her all on her own.
Everything still tastes of grey, so I'm not very sure what's going on.
Should you come to the? You want to come to the Slicked Mines with us? We're going to be heading off to the Slicked.
I don't think
Mines.
that's a very good.
No?
I've been with you people not very long, and so far everything turned grey. I was almost killed by a woman who looked into a bag and turned into what can only be described as a demon.
It's pretty fair.
You were almost assassinated.
Yes.
Black flames sprouted from a building
Yes.
with no known cause.
This is common.
Yeah, I
This is
just
common.
think that perhaps this isn't the right place for her.
Trouble seems to follow us. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, you notice how we take all of this, like, just in our stride.
I have noticed that.
This is a normal week.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's starting to
What's a week?
age me considerably. Give me a 10 days.
It's a normal 10-day period for us.
And you call days strange things.
Yeah, well.
As you
We're all a bit
flicked through the book
Yeah.
briefly, the writing is very small. Very, very small. You'd think you probably need a spyglass, or
Oh, no
you know,
way.
you'd have to really concentrate.
Not
to
with
read
his
that.
eyes.
And there's a lot of text. This is probably, I don't know, 500 or more pages,
Wow.
but maybe 3 times the amount of words that you normally find on an equivalent amount of pages. So this
I
is
love a good book.
very, very dense.
Bloody elves.
This is a good book.
I can barely read it.
I love a good book.
My arms like.
To get a good book like this in the countryside, you're never going to see this again. This is a city book, through and through.
A city book.
A city book.
You need to see library books. That's what you need.
Yeah, I certainly do.
The academy. One day we may go there.
Maybe.
I'll probably be dead by the time that
Speaking
happens.
of, we need to get out of the Elven lands as fast as possible. We had a little detour
we've got
to
a plan.
stop you from being murdered, which I appreciate, but I do think we need to get out of here very quickly.
Yes. I guess we're walking and talking, aren't we?
Yeah,
at the
let's
same
walk and
time,
talk.
Yeah. Is Tyrus actively listening?
Tyrus, yeah, she's with you. She's leading as you've made her.
She's a brave girl.
She's starting off.
She's a brave girl.
Yeah.
Marched in front. We're around about midday by this point, somewhere around lunchtime. You got some cheese you can snack on should you wish.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we
Sure,
could do with them.
cheese.
Oh, I don't
We
know.
are,
I don't know.
we are all pretty beaten up.
I don't think I could
Apart
short.
from me,
Don't think
apparently
I
I
could
feel
short
fine.
rest.
I do feel like it's been a number of months since we've eaten.
That's a very good point. Oh, I missed out on a bath.
Yes,
That's what I wanted to
you
have in
did.
the manor.
Yeah.
Damn.
It is assumed you're generally eating in the background, and the same
We're
goes
always
for
snacking.
toilet breaks.
Yeah. It's
Now,
assumed generally we go to the toilet.
I go where I am.
Yeah. Just stand here.
Oh, we're walking along.
Yeah.
I've been backing it up like a bear.
So heading south again.
Combination.
When you so you return as you're walking. You return eventually after a period's travel, a couple of miles, back to the carriage that you were at previously. One of the wardrocks has walked completely free and seems to be. You can sort of make it out in the distance. It's just walked deep into the long grass and shrubbery and bracken, and generally nourishing itself on what it can find. The other one is still lying there on the floor, looks fairly exhausted at this point. And then there's the carriage where you first found that mirror.
So I haven't really inspected.
And yeah, it's still there on its side, completely blocking this path, hasn't been disturbed or moved in any way.
Good to know. Oh, I also left my hunting trap and my bell in that manor. I'm going to buy all those things again.
Ah.
This
I
has
think-
all round been pretty terrible. Then I'm plagued with some kind of grey experience then.
Didn't have a shower. I've
Yeah.
lost my tools. Didn't get to assassinate the guy.
Pretty sweet book though, all things considered.
A good read.
Did you find the globe, by the way, did anyone? You did find that.
Malkin's got it somewhere.
I've got it somewhere, but
It's just rummaging through his pack. Do
yeah.
you like when you go backpacking and you can't find something?
Yeah, it's always at the
Shit, I
bottom.
knew it was in here. Somebody's taken my stash.
I think we'll go over and just try and free this wardrocks. Just check it's free. Is it free?
Yeah.
I think we freed it. I think Thorin.
Yeah, I think, did you unattach it last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
think we left one because I thought it was dead. But
sure, it wasn't dead,
No.
but it wasn't moving a lot. It was quite
Maybe it needs
exhausted.
Deadish.
It's long, yeah.
Yeah, it was fairly.
exhausted.
It was exhaustion. Wasn't moving much at all, but whether or not it completely expired, looks like it does have a little bit of air rising in its chest.
Okay. Well, let's. What am I going to do? I am going to check the airwaves
With the neck tilt.
and check that they are breathing.
Yes. Yeah.
And then if they're
It's definitely
not,
breathing.
then I'm going to do chest compressions.
Yeah, well, fortunately, it is breathing.
I'm still going through them.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to free it.
Okay. Yeah. You would do so. You'd imagine if it was fully compos mentis, it might put up some resistance, but it can't really struggle. It's very worn down and exhausted. But you're able eventually to free it and detach it from its harness.
Give it a little bit of lard.
You can absolutely can. Yeah. Lather it in a little bit of the Maidlock's butter. Oh, sorry, not Maidlock's. The Hillmaddock butter.
Maddock.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what my little pink slip says, but I might take one of the things off.
Yeah. It's still lying there. It's sort of breathing quite heavily on the ground, but it's alive. It's just sort of lying there, covered with some lard.
I will.
Wiped on it.
Can I ask if it's in pain?
You can, yeah. I'm tired.
I don't think I've got any coffee. Not no coffee. Is it in a? It's in a path, isn't it?
On the path, sort of half. If you recall, the carriage is sort of straddling the path, completely blocking it, and the creature is sort of half on the path, sort of half on the side of the road where the grass is, sort of lying there.
Could the four of us drag it out of the path?
Yeah, you probably
Under
could.
a tree?
Yeah, you can give me an animal handling roll, just to see how well you're able to lead that.
Big rolls.
12.
Well, you're able to do so, and it kind of slightly willingly steps, tries to get up on its feet, stumbles a little bit, But you're able to kind of, as you're sort of pulling it and freeing it, it sort of just moves a little bit and rights itself, stands up, looks very shaky on its legs, but it's back upright.
Marvellous.
What are we doing?
We're helping a poor animal get back on its way. Just like, and also we're helping this Maidlox.
Do you have any compassion? No.
For my mother and father,
Oh, of course.
No.
Of course. Of course.
and the elves.
Oh, and the elves, yeah? What about the humans?
No.
What about me? What do you think of me?
I think you're quite annoying, little man.
Well, that's a pretty fair assessment, to be honest. So are you!
It's
I'm storming off.
It's taken us years to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
That is true, yeah.
You
Well-
took my house.
We didn't take it. We kind of saved you. Pretty sure Hunger's already took it off you. And you were there. Didn't do anything about it. This guy would have killed you.
Well, I could have stopped him if I wanted to.
Oh yeah, like you stopped. Bloody the scythe. Slicked.
Well, that was different.
Yeah.
Killed.
You do realise you're arguing with a teenager.
Yeah,
This is
I
a
know.
fight you can't win.
Bloody will. I'm stubborn. I'll win it.
An elven teenager, she's got a couple of 100 years to perfect the art.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Where would you like to go?
Home.
I have terrible news for you. You currently don't have one.
I know.
Which means the next few years of your life are going to be incredibly rough, and then it will even out a little bit. So with that in mind, where would you like to go?
I've never thought about it. I don't really know anywhere else.
I can see that being a problem. So I'm loath to abandon you, but there is this village. It's not great, but you can use it as a springboard, maybe get yourself to Aqua. But I'd get a few years under your belt first. It's not a good place for younglings.
Is it Elven?
In some states, yes. It's a mixed populace.
Are they peasants?
Absolutely, 100% true and true.
Well, I don't want to go there.
Well, you may not have a whole lot of choice. And luckily your blood might mean that you get a lot more respect than, dare I say it, you possibly deserve right now. But you might find that in a few years you can gain enough respect to get yourself out to Aqua and make something of yourself. Do you have anyone you can write to in the city? You must have more family, perhaps, an aunt or uncle.
No. The only person my father knows is Lord Osmium.
Well, that might be a good start.
He's rich.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
always
won't be
useful
particularly
to-
happy that he's lost out on some of your father's wealth as well. So who knows? Maybe he'll come down and make some corrections. Maybe you'll find yourself back in your house before long. You see, the whole thing's about leadership and influence.
So you read the book.
You have to.
Another book down here.
Yeah.
All about.
Your father will have had loads of connections, and those connections naturally will fall to you, and they'll feel sorry for you because your father's no longer around. But that means you can use that influence yourself. People like to help younger people, particularly, I know it's not exactly nice, but particularly because you're female, and people are more likely to help you out. It's this perception that you can't look after yourself, which of course I know you can. But I would get in touch with this Lord Osmian and tell him of what's befell your household. Perhaps you can tell him that a group of ruffians handed over your home to a non-elf, and you might find he's more amenable to correcting things in your name.
Just don't tell him who those ruffians were.
Do you think he'd get my house back?
I think if you told him there was a human living in it, I don't think he'd come down here for sport.
And do you think he'd hunt the slit?
Oh, very much so. If he thought it was in his best interest, and it's kind of, you'd be able to convince him it's in his best interest.
I want those things to die.
Understandably, they took something from you.
If you see them, you'll kill one for me.
I never passed up the opportunity yet. But killing things is a strange thing to a person. may feel like it will fill you for now, but it never ends, that path. But you've got a lot of years to figure this out yet. But write to him. We'll take you to the village. Get in touch.
I can't write.
I'd laugh at that.
Don't laugh at me.
Wow.
Gnome.
I can write. Boom.
There'll be people there who can teach you, or even write on your behalf.
You'd be thrown in jail if people knew that.
What? That you can't write, or I can't? I can write. We write all the time in the Gnomish lands. We must be more superior, Malcolm. What do you think?
You're not superior. You people are just stupid.
Malcolm can write.
I can write.
He's a
I
human.
can read as well.
In common, I bet.
Oh, and elfish.
Would you believe
I
it?
know, it's chronic, isn't it? I mean, who would have thought a simple human, a low life like me?
Yeah. Maybe you should change your perspective on the world. And maybe the world will be more favourable upon you.
The world is definitely changing.
People don't like bratty little kids.
Don't like the elves.
Don't like the elves, no. The elves like the elves.
Be gentle.
No one else
Laura.
likes
She
the
has just
elves.
lost her parents.
Oh no, she
She may be a racist,
is a racist.
but she lost her parents. She's got a lot of years to figure out that things aren't exactly even around here. If we make an enemy of her, she's the future generation. If we want things to change, you've got to start with the young.
Ah, that is true. I haven't met a nice elf yet. You a whole elf? You're a whole board elf, you're alright. You're a whole one?
You can have a point of inspiration for your
Oh,
For
well, thank you
your-
very much.
life lessons.
Life lessons.
Life lessons from an assassin.
That's the name of my autobiography. That's going to be my tone by the time I'm done here.
Nice.
Oh dear.
Life lessons.
Are we still travelling, or have you stopped?
No,
Oh, of course.
chatting as we
We're still
walk.
travelling. So you passed the carriage.
I was just going to say, have we got there yet?
Yeah. If you want to stop there, you're welcome to. But I've assumed you've passed.
There's nothing there, is there? Just broken carriage. Carry on. Heading towards the farm.
You return after a number of hours' travel. I'm just going to assume you're continuing until an event happens of some nature.
Bickering and grumbling all the way.
You walk for a number of miles along that narrow southerly road. Remember, this isn't a well-travelled road. This is a path at best, with the tree line on one side and the thick grass on the other side. And you eventually return to the area with where it was one single tree-like forest, which eventually led back to Razna Selhasna.
How do you remember all this? How do you remember these names like that?
As you arrive back at this tree line, you realise at the point whereby you previously had joined the path and having exited the forest, there's a creature just sat in the middle of the road. It's quite a large creature, not at a similar size to the Wardrocks, kind of four-legged. Looks kind of bovine in its sort of shape and size. It's covered in feathers.
Don't know why that was funny.
Red, kind of like a burgundy feather that sort of creates a kind of an ombre into like a yellow at the tip on all of them. It's just completely covered in these feathers. And it's just sat there, and its face is completely feathered as well, so you can't really make out any features, whether there's eyes and a mouth and things probably behind them, but it's all just kind of covered there. And it's just sat there, completely still, in the middle of the path, and just next to the forest.
It's a legendary Pokemon.
What's that?
It's a legendary Pokemon. Ho-Ho.
Is it dangerous?
Certainly hope not.
He's speaking words, but I don't know what they mean.
Go and check it out.
No.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, Thorin.
Just
you
walk.
speak-
It kind of stands
you
up.
Speak to the.
Stands up as you call, and just walks to the side, the opposite side to the forest that you had entered from, so sort of to the east side of the path. where there's just some bracken and bush, and just sort of walks to the side, turns back around, sits down, and just faces back towards the group of you.
Hey, what are you?
Hello.
Speaks.
Was that?
Hi.
To Thorin, it
Yeah.
says, you're hearing, you just don't make out any sound.
Ah.
What are you?
What are you?
Wood elf.
Yes.
Yes. Do you know the wood elves?
Yes.
You've seen wood elf before?
Yes.
Do you know where?
Yes.
It turns around and just faces completely the opposite way to you. That way.
How many?
Many.
In the wood elf forest?
Yes.
Yes. Is that where you come from? Would I have seen one of these before?
You can give me a nature roll.
$15.
Give me an arcana roll.
Ooh.
It's a legendary Pokemon.
7.
7.
Okay, you believe this is a magical creature. That the way it looks is you think maybe you've heard childhood stories or wood elves describe a beast that looks a bit like this in the past. You can't remember what it's called. You can't remember anything about it.
I can't remember if it's dangerous or if it's...
No, you just remember being fascinated by this description of this creature when you were
Stories
younger.
of eating pies and adventures.
So it's just sort of sat there on the road.
Occasionally volleying up scraps of leather armour and the like.
Speed skulls.
Yeah, do I see anything around which indicates any recent struggles or...
A pair of boots.
You can give me how close are you to this?
I am
It
not,
it first
I'm
called
not
to
at
you.
arm's length.
Okay. It first called to you when you were maybe, let's say, about 40 feet away from it.
Okay, well, I'll get down to 20 feet.
Okay. Yeah. And then give me
Spell range.
a perception roll.
Nine.
It is 24.
24. It's got shiny things in its feathers, and with a roll that good, there's got a dagger you can make out in its feathers.
Oh,
But there's some other things as well. So it looks like there's just stuff sort of shoved into it.
It's not like stabbed in, these
No.
are stored.
Looks like almost, yeah, looks like it's sort of secured items in and around its mass in some fashion.
it's an armory beast.
What are you doing in this forest?
I got lost.
Where are you trying to be?
Who?
The Wood Elf Forest?
Yes.
It's very contradictory. Kind of knows where it is, but he's also lost. It's that way, but I don't know where to go.
What brought you out here?
The trees.
These trees?
No. The trees.
The Wood Elf trees.
Yes.
How are they?
Not there.
Ooh.
What do you mean they're not there?
Not there.
Gone?
Yes.
Why?
Sort of swirling.
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 Jeez. What's all this you've got here?
What? This? And out of all of its bulk, because it's unclear how much of its feather and how much is mass. Out of all its bulk, branches just start to grow out of it from each side. 6 or 7, quite not massive great branches, fairly thin, spindly ones, and they're just holding a variety of items.
I'm going to ready a crossbow.
No problem.
I'm assuming this is a weapon, right? The dagger's just been drawn. You said he had daggers on it?
One of the branches has produced a dagger.
Yeah,
yes.
well, I don't know what's
Well,
going
as long
on.
as another one got a packet of sherbet lemons, so what's the range of items that we're doing here?
This one's got
What
a
are you
beano.
first of all, what are you readying your action for?
Just a crossbow.
But what?
In
To
case
ready an
what
action, you have
happens.
to have a trigger.
Oh, in case he attacks, in case he throws a dagger or something.
Seems fair.
Okay, so attack specifically.
I've got no idea what's going on.
So out from its side, it produces a dagger from one of its rear branches. What looks like an empty bag. You can tell it's empty because it's held upside down and the lid's kind of open, just like a little backpack. It's some kind of a sack that's got something in it, like kind of like a Hessian sack. There's a boot, a black boot.
His victims.
It's
It's a kleptomaniac.
and then what looks like a
Who steals off the dead?
what looks like kind of a
Hate you all.
loaf, a rounded loaf of bread, like a cob,
Fresh.
like a big cob.
I've got cheese to go with that.
Tricky to be sure how
20
fresh it
feet.
is from 20 feet,
Sildon wouldn't have been able to know if bread's fresh from 20 feet.
but it just produces all these things.
Malcolm, offer it some cheese. I think I've read about these. They like cheese.
Oh,
I'll give it a go.
It's got a knife.
no, it doesn't look very threatening.
What?
We're
do I-
loaded down with weaponry. We're not. No.
Do I
particularly-
recognise the kind of knife?
It's a pretty simple dagger. It doesn't look like anything
No
too.
specific.
Is he brandishing it in a threatening way? By
Um,
chance.
you can give me an insight roll.
That was just a bit.
I'm going to tell everyone. I've just asked it to just show me what it's got.
Oh, okay. That seems.
Are you mad?
Is that fighting talk?
Show me
Show me what you got! I don't know what's going on!
What do you mean you asked it?
I'm scared.
You didn't say anything.
Yes, I did. Look.
You just made stupid noises.
Hey. Just make some indication to these fellow party members of mine that you're alright. You're not trying to hurt anyone.
I'll hold out a hunk of cheese.
Ugh, don't touch me.
No, not to the girl. to the collective creature thing.
It looks at you a little. Well, its head is looking toward you. Can't see its eyes if it has any.
I've basically got this wheel of cheese under my arm. As we've been walking along, I've just been picking at it. So I'm just holding out picked off a lump of cheese now.
Give me an animal handling roll.
It's good cheese.
Oh, this could be good. I've never done an animal handling before. Let's have a look.
Famous last word.
That's plus 2. That's a mighty 12.
Oh, that's not bad.
It clearly is sort of looking at it and sniffing it.
I'm holding it out like that, like you do a horse. I
Yeah.
don't
Flat
want to
palm.
lose any fingers here.
It takes a couple of steps towards you, quite slowly. Stands up, big, quite wide legs again, just completely feathered, like a big. It's like a huge kind of. The level of density is like a massive, super shaggy dog. You know, where they have those feathers that cover everything, or through, in their instance, hair that covers everything.
Sylvan's just going to bend down to the little girl and like whisper quite softly. Have you ever seen a man be eaten by a thing?
She does.
Pretending to be humorous.
Malcolm, with rather good hearing, turns around and just gives you the look.
She does take a little bit of a step behind you, Sildon, sort of, as it comes
That's
towards.
fair.
Just sort of takes a step behind you. Comes a little bit closer. It's retracted most of its bits again now, back into its possession.
On this, you go with your bread.
And it just comes up to you, then turns away to the side as if disinterested, and then from its right hand side, fast as you like, a branch emerges, grabs it, and pulls it back in.
Oh,
That's very generous of you.
it is a kleptomaniac.
Or it's very hungry.
I
Mind
don't
you,
think
it
it's
hasn't
eating
eaten
it,
bread.
it's just collecting it.
And it takes a couple of steps back and just sits down again.
I have no idea what this thing is doing. It's telling me.
You just told me it was your friend a minute ago. We were all believing you.
It's telling me it's come from the Wood Elf Forest, but the Wood Elf Forest is gone. Some swirl happened.
Swirl.
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 What did he mean, squirrel?
Squirrel.
Squirrels ate my
Squirrel.
trees.
What's a swirl?
A swirl. Am I
Swirl.
saying that right? I know
Yeah,
I
you
said
are.
squirrel
Yeah.
wrong.
Swirl. Yeah. Swirl.
Swear.
Like a
Swirl, yeah.
swirl. Tornado? A whirlwind?
Oh,
A magic cloud? Who knows?
this doesn't sound very good.
Was the forest there when
It
you?
didn't say any of that.
Not
You-
gonna say.
You weren't listening hard enough.
Thorinir has this way of talking to things.
Okay.
Please, I'm gonna talk to the thing.
What do they say,
now.
Malcolm? No witnesses.
Please show her that you're friends.
Animal handling again.
Oh dear.
That's one way to rid her of the party, I guess. The thing eater.
Part of his collection.
It walks towards her a little bit, and it takes out, again turns to the side, and she's sort of again just taking more steps back, sort of walking right up to you and near you, and it slowly holds out one of its sticks, and it kind of does resemble an arm, and as the stick kind of unfurls, there's just a small pebble at the end. It just holds it out.
I'll say, take it. It's a gift. I think.
No,
Take it.
no, I'm not touching that.
If you don't, it'll be disrespected.
I don't. You take it.
Surely your parents taught you about respect.
To the elves, that was the
Probably.
problem.
Not to
Probably.
an animal. This thing.
This is beyond an animal.
Now that you're looking out for yourself, it might be that you have to make certain changes to how you view the world. One of them would be, if it's bigger than you and you don't understand what it is, I'd be nice to it.
Good advice. Always respect things that look like they could eat you without having to worry about it.
Make anyone who can try and persuade her, make a group persuasion on it.
Thorpe. Ooh, I will also give it a go.
That's 10 for me.
7.
7.
Lucky 7.
Lens would run.
21.
No, but we'll go with his.
It's the group check. She goes up towards it. No, not doing it. She puts her hand really close. No, no, no. It's not talking to you. What's it doing? Let's just go.
I'll explain that she's young and afraid. And has just lost her parents.
In the forest,
Just beyond the forest.
the swirling.
The swirling. Tell me more about the swirling.
I don't understand.
How long ago?
Not always light.
Tell the others. When it was not always light.
Nighttime.
One time, last night.
It's a
He couldn't have got. He
cryptic little
he
thing.
couldn't have got from the elven, from the wood elf lands to here in one night, could it?
Don't know how fast the thing is.
This is ridiculous. It's not saying anything. Let's just go.
Your call, Florian.
Will you come with us?
Why?
We can help.
How?
We should probably go and find out what the hell's going on.
Ask it if we can help.
Yeah.
If it gets us out of the elven land, I'm happy to go wherever we want.
Mm.
You seem to have a tie here.
You guys aren't picking up this yet. You want me to relay everything you say?
I guess we
Oh,
can
you
hear,
listen to-
we can hear you talking. we're getting one half of a conversation.
How can we help you?
Find home.
Find home. Find the Wood Elf Forest.
Yes.
I think we've got some things to do on the way there. We're going to be heading that way at some point.
Yes.
Is there anything we can do for you right now?
Does it have a name?
The furry thing. What's your name?
I don't know.
I'm Thorinir.
Hello.
Anything we can do for you right now?
Puts a branch out. Extends it towards you.
What's more cheese?
I'm going to put a currency in.
Withdraws it.
What did I give him
Instantly.
though? What have I got? You can have a silver piece.
Fine. Yeah, he's that silver piece is retracted within him in some fashion.
Okay. Are you staying in these woods?
Yes.
We'll come back with help or news. Fit on the bonnet of the car thing.
In the boot.
Put it in the boot. How big is this thing?
This creature.
Yeah, large.
How many
yeah,
boots is it?
Picture kind of cow size.
That's quite
that
big.
sort of size. Yeah.
Kind of a big old boot.
Big
It's
boot.
a big old
We
boot.
need a goat, I think, to get this thing in.
You can fit a moose on the bonnet of a 4x4. can't
Ford
you?
Ranger.
Yeah.
I am. I'm gonna cast a spirit totem.
That's just how the spell sounds.
That is the sound
language.
part.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call forth the hawk spirit, so a big, like, ethereal hawk.
What is that? What is that?
And I'm just going to say to the creature, not the little girl, yeah, let this help guide you. We'll be back.
Thank you. And the hawk spirit.
The hawk spirit is just advantage on wisdom, perception checks, and advantage on any attack rolls.
Oh, cool.
If it's attacked by anything.
For what period?
Probably not long.
1 minute concentration.
Yes. Which always feels a lot longer when we're in combat.
Yeah, in the
that's
combat.
10 rounds
It's more of
ago.
a it's more of a
It's a gesture.
gesture of
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Companionship.
I'm magical.
I respect it.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, I'm one with the Fey spirits.
Am I?
I reckon it comes from somewhere of that ilk.
Do I get a pebble? Do we all get a pebble? What's going on
Yeah.
here? I don't know what's going on.
You haven't
I'm
been
going to give
cheated.
Zolan the silver piece.
Yeah.
Oh, they get a pebble. They get a pebble. I'm gonna walk over all excited like that. Whoa!
Oh. Doesn't like you very much. Don't anger it.
No, that was for you, Zolan.
What? The no.
That was a gift to you.
Oh, thank you.
The silver
We're
piece.
gift giving.
This is all the currency I have now. Thank you. I don't.
Oh,
I,
you
don't
need. Yeah, we need to make you some.
I don't have anything. I'm gonna storm off and I'm gonna kick dirt in it. As I turn, it's getting dirt kicked at it.
Jeepers.
And kind of as you do so, it kind of flutters its
Yeah.
feathers creates quite a draft, as it does so,
Could do with a draft right now.
to sort of beat some of the dust away.
You didn't mean that. That was an accident.
You're magic users.
Not all of us.
That was
He
magic.
is.
Who is?
Him.
Oh, yeah, he just actually
Oh, that was
yeah, he
nature.
did, yeah.
That was magic. Magic is not allowed.
That was not magic. That was the Fey spirits. That is a different thing.
I think it's best we get you to safety.
That's a good
Before
one.
this gets any stranger.
You think it could get stranger?
Oh, we can certainly get stranger. I've known you for slightly longer than this. It can get a whole lot stranger than this.
I knew there was something wrong with you.
Well, that's not difficult to work out. I mean, you can see that within 5 minutes of meeting us.
Nothing to do with the plague he's carrying. No.
Sylvan's going to walk off towards the village slightly before, almost ushering the girl along.
Sure.
Not harshly, but kind of like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Go.
Fine. You're all following?
Yeah,
All following.
The creature just sits down again.
Wave bye.
Wave bye to feathery creature thingy.
And you continue journeying into the forest. Again, this is cooler because we're sheltered now a little bit from the sun. This seemingly one single tree with many trunks, but does very much seem like it's one plant, having walked through this 3 times now. You can fairly easily follow the trail. You've travelled it a couple of times now, and eventually you come once again to that withered, dried pile of 2-headed serpents,
Twin-headed snakes.
which causes Tyrus some alarm and fright. She's clearly a little nervous. She's, although she's putting on a stubborn and brave face, she's staying fairly close, particularly to Sylvan, who she seems to have a slightly more of an affinity for than some of the others.
Which is a racist.
And after a couple of hours' travel through this forest with no further alarm, you eventually return to the fence line at Rasna Selhafna.
What will be the time?
We are early afternoon.
We need to have a huddle up and a plan.
Okay.
Tyrus, if you could wait here. We're just going over there.
If you want, I could talk to the girl, give her instructions on what to do next, and then come and join you.
I don't know. I'm not leaving without this car.
Oh yeah, we're going
I
definitely.
want
gonna
to
get
make
the
sure that when we're in, we've got the plan, we're in, and we're out.
car. Fair.
So are you taking her to the side, or are you just all having a chat without her?
Okay, you got a plan?
No, that was it. I just wanted to make sure that we were like, the car is the mission number 1. This girl is mission number 2.
Well, how about if...
It's probably best we're not with her when she makes her connection.
Yeah.
But we met a lovely administrator who I'm sure would be more than happy to take an elf under her wing.
What about your disguises? Wigs and dresses.
Sounds like a good plan to me. Fabulous!
Fabulous!
What if you take the girl to the woman who runs this place, and while you're doing that, we can use it as a bit of a distraction to go and carry out Zolan's, I hate to call it a plan, more of a shambling idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there is no plan at the moment.
No, I didn't
this was
think there
just
was.
yeah. This car's going. That's,
Right.
that's objective number 1 of this. That's priority numero uno.
Well, she seems to trust you more than anybody else, so...
It's mid-morning. It did say mid-morning.
Mid-afternoon.
Mid-afternoon.
Early afternoon now,
Early
yeah.
afternoon. Okay, so
Maybe 2 p.m. would
we'll
be an
able to-
estimate.
I can take you to the administration office. It's likely this woman will be there. His name I momentarily forgot, but I've got it in my notebook somewhere.
Basualt, she's called.
Basualt.
Basualt.
Basualt. I'll take her to Basualt, give her some next steps. Swing by, pick me up in the car, and away we go.
Sounds good.
Keep an ear out for our signal. Or an explosion or something
Are
happening.
you just going to run in and get it, or do you want to disguise?
No, I don't want to dress like a lady. No, thank you.
I think it's going to be a bit of a dead giveaway. I mean,
Yeah.
if there's a lady gnome, a wood elf lady, and
That's
a
fair.
human lady, then I think they're probably going to put 2 and 2 together. So I don't think there's much point in going in
Have I
disguise.
seen this automobile?
No,
No, I haven't.
I don't know what you're
No.
talking about.
no, but it's important. You have to know right now that this is important.
Right.
More
Well,
important
don't be
than
quick.
releasing the spectacled rat.
This is more important than releasing the spectacled rams. I thought we agreed not to
We
release
agreed
the
we
spectacled
wouldn't
rams
do
at the
that,
moment.
because
Okay,
it's
that's all right.
Just yet. We'll make them
Right.
rich, and then they can
Yeah.
expand their enclosures.
Like it. Maybe they don't get taxed as much these days that they can afford better welfare for their for their wrens.
Right. Okay, Zolan, it's your.
Rolling stealth.
Oh boy.
Oh!
Well,
Oh.
I mean, we don't want to be seen, right?
Exactly.
Well,
So I'm putting the war paint on right now.
what I'm
stealthing
going
up.
to do is...
You got a tome of spells, right? Look at that.
I'm gonna
Level 6, this geese, isn't he?
I'm going to sit on the
He's-
floor,
Yeah.
and I'm going to pick up any leaves on the floor or anything.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm going to eat it.
Nice.
And then I'm going to,
What are you doing?
just like you're blowing a bubblegum balloon.
Oh yeah.
I'm blowing out a leaf. It's going to get very big. It's going to get huge.
Yeah.
But it's actually just a shadow.
Oh.
A shadow of a leaf. Because I'm casting Pass Without Trace,
Like it.
which is a concentration up to 1 hour. A field of shadows and silence radiates from you. Master you from and you and your companions from detection. Each creature you choose within 30 feet gets an additional plus 10 bonus to dexterity.
Blimey.
Wow.
I got
And,
everything.
and you include who are you choosing within that veil?
I guess the 3 of us,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
guys are
Cool.
on a different mission.
Absolutely.
Right. Let's go do this thing that you say is important.
It's very important. You'll understand at some point.
That is important.
This is very important.
Okay. Keep an ear out for our signal.
Zolan's going to run off, but he's going to be like
You'll know.
whistling a tune from like a cartoon. you know, and they're all- something like that. Yeah, like yeah.
So you're really sneaky, but there's this sound of whistling coming.
No, we're silent. We're silent under this.
A veil of shadows and silence.
Okay.
Radiates from you.
So it's very quiet whistling.
Yeah.
It's a good night.
It'd just be like,
Well,
Yeah, no worries.
you go.
What's it feel like to be under that?
I'm too excited. It's like Christmas morning. Can't think of anything else.
Mm.
I'm like, yay!
How about for you, Malcolm?
Quiet. Strangely quiet.
Mm.
I'm assuming that the quiet surrounds us and
Well, remember,
penetrates us. And
just moments before, you'd had quite a cacophony of spectacled wren sounds filling the
Oh,
air.
that's true, actually. Yeah.
So it really is quite an alarming juxtaposition.
nice. Nice to get some peace and quiet for a change.
It won't be me because I'm singing a song all the way there.
We can hear each other quite normally, though. Can we?
yeah.
Right.
It pretty much, from what I gather, people can't hear us.
Right. Zolan, shut up.
You'll understand.
Yeah, the silence and the shadows are radiating from us.
Right.
Nice.
So you probably would struggle to communicate with each other as well, I would say. You can, you probably know, have a vague idea of what one another are, but you're sort of completely stealthed from one another and silent from one another as well, I would say.
So before we roll, we should talk plan.
I've already gone.
Yeah. Is that just about... Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm off.
Oh, where's he gone?
One day we'll have a plan for something.
So you're heading towards Pipfina's
Yeah.
accommodation.
Towards the moat.
We've got absolutely no idea where he's heading.
Sure.
We haven't been in this area before, so we're just following him.
Let's go. Don't worry.
It's quite tricky to follow him because he's
We're-
hard to see.
Yes, we're following a hard to see gnome
We've got a plan. I've got a plan.
who
I don't have a
who
plan.
has no plan,
Hmm.
and
He's going to figure it out.
Yeah, winging it. That's all we need.
But you know he's going to come pick up me pretty soon, so...
did you just do my face palm?
I did, yeah. Patented Malcolm face palm.
Where did they go?
Don't worry about it.
That's just exactly what the other lady did.
Mm,
Behind you.
Is that right? How interesting.
Do I see any horn ladies
You don't.
in this shadow?
You don't.
Right, we better follow him.
So you're heading down. So you're at the top of this hill. At the moment, it's the chicken chucking hill that you were on previously with the hill maddocks.
I wasn't
you're-
there for that.
You're at the top of it, sure. You're at the top of it, and there's still some of these sock-like carcasses of the hill maddocks now that are drying out in the sun quite heavily at the top
Ooh,
there.
jerky.
And there's still more of these large creatures upright, 8 foot high. They're big yellow creases and strange Ferengi-like ears that are being farmed by a few of these farmers, grabbing lard from within their creases into kegs.
Rest in peace. Can't remember
What
his name.
the
It'd be,
hell is going on here? What are they doing here?
There's the shed halfway up the hill as well, which is where you were talking with Bastior before. But you can see the rest of the farm just down beneath you of Rasno Selhathra. And over to you. So Tiris is with you.
And
And you-
Baswald and her little admin cabin.
Sure. So you happily can head in that direction. Very good stealth. They're very tricky to see. You head to that shed, and remember, it's not a big one. It's kind of a fairly rickety tin structure, or metal structure, and with a door that's not particularly well secured to the front. Where are we going?
I'm going to take you to see a woman who sort of owes me a favour. And you're going to use all that influence I spoke about to contact this Lord Osmond.
We've got osmium.
Lord Osmium, apologies. And you're going to use whatever wiles you have in order to secure yourself a position of authority here. Does that make sense?
Here. I don't want to be here.
You have very little choice, I'm afraid.
This looks horrible.
It isn't great. Yeah, it isn't great. But you know what's better? It's better than living out in the middle of nowhere, and it's better than you going to Echo right now. You need a few years under your belt. You need to learn how to talk to normal people.
These aren't normal people, are they? Farmers, peasants.
Sadly, that is about as good as you can do right now.
Well, I don't want to stay here.
Well, write to this lord. He'll know what to do. He'll come to help you out. Hopefully, you'll want to honour your father's legacy, shall we say. He'll find out a human's living in your house, and he'll want to correct that. You'll be back home before you know it.
Well, I hope you're right.
It's been known.
So you go up to the door.
Yeah.
It's a hot day. You might imagine it'd be baking hot in there on a day like today. And you can probably pretty easily detect the door's partly open, that she's in there, or at least somebody's in there, presumably her, sort of busying herself.
I'm going to rap slightly on the door.
And she looks out.
Hello there.
Oh, hello.
Hello there. Back again. How are you?
Ah, yes. Good, thank you.
I have mixed news for you.
Okay.
The first bit of news is your Slick's problem is no longer a problem.
Is that so?
Dealt with. Shouldn't be causing you any trouble now.
Can you? I mean, what do you have evidence of this?
If you head to the manor over the hill, you can find all the evidence you need, but the evidence will be make itself clear over the next few days.
Okay, well, I'm very appreciative of that.
That's not a problem at
Thank
all.
you very much for that.
Part of my duties here is to make sure that you are effective in producing everything you can, and this was causing a problem. So I made sure the people I travelled with dispatched the creature, and it won't be troubling you again.
Well, I very much appreciate that. And that's very kind. Was the amulet helpful?
It was, yes, very much so.
Good. I mean, of course, it's yours.
I'm afraid I have a mixed news, and I require your help once more.
Okay, yes.
The Lord of the Manor, you see, didn't fare very well against the creature.
Which manor might this be?
Straight over the hill there. It points in the general direction.
North of the Alice Manor.
That's right.
Alice Manor. Oh, well, was it the creature got him?
Absolutely.
Mm.
Him and his wife, I'm afraid.
Dear.
But they left a daughter. Yes.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that, young lady. Do you know Lord Osmium? Lord Osmium. I know of Lord Osmium. Yes, I used to work in the Department of Gnomish Relations.
Absolutely.
Can I speak to him, please?
She only needs writing equipment.
Um,
And for you to write and draft what she says.
Of course, yes. I can happily send some messages through with my contacts in Equa. And you were going to maybe put in a little word or something.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'll be heading back there imminently.
That would be fabulous. You've really been, you've been a star. You've been a star.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Not all my work isn't always appreciated.
I mean, I do really appreciate it, and I'll happily help your Tiris. I'll happily help Tiris write her letter. Not an issue. Just one little small little kind of like a smidgen of just sort of like a little bother that's happened.
Of course.
That we just need to tidy up before
That makes
anything else.
perfect sense.
No, not you, but probably the others. I'm just relaying. I'm just relaying what I've heard.
Yeah.
They've slightly slightly upset Fina.
Oh, really? Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
In what way?
Now this might just be. I'm sure there's just a huge just misunderstanding. So she just sort of walks out of the door of a hut, and she walks around to the other side, just to the side that you didn't see previously. And there's a poster on the wall, and it says "Wanted."
Nice.
It's been a while.
And it's not a great drawing
Okay, that's a good sign.
of Zolan. Yeah.
Okay.
Not a great drawing of Zolan. And
What is
that's
that?
it.
Some sort of cow?
It's just, you see, now there was a little bit of an opinion
Yeah.
of Fina Genghis Toads, the gnome. You met
I'm
her.
vaguely aware.
This very small little, irate at the best of times.
Yeah, okay.
And she claims that, which again probably just a huge misunderstanding. She claims that you're the gnome that you were in the party of.
He's a colleague of mine.
A work colleague, or he probably had his reasons. He claimed that he took her accumulator.
Right. And what's that? Collects things, is it?
You see, it's quite a large kind of this high, it glows, and it's kind of important for making our robots work.
Right.
The really sharp, big, loud, moving
Yes.
beast harvester, and other things like that.
I mean, you've seen the man. He's quite small. It's a very large device. It would have
I mean,
seems odd, doesn't it?
We couldn't find him again to ask him. You see, after he had left, so we just wanted to check in and clear it all up.
Okay.
Because it's quite a valuable thing to Fipdina,
Okay.
and she's on strike at the moment.
Right. Got you. Well, I'm sure it's misplaced. I can go over there after this and ensure that nothing is untoward. Maybe help her find it.
That would be fantastic.
Good.
That would be.
Good. I'd hate to leave in bad terms.
No, we wouldn't. Of course we wouldn't.
That's
No,
not like me.
whatever it is, I'm sure
Absolutely.
we can work that out.
Absolutely.
That's not a problem at all.
Well, if you take my ward here and look after her, I can make sure that is resolved.
Oh, not a problem. I hope yes. Not at all.
Tyrus, before I go, might I have a word, just briefly?
Yes, please.
Alone, if that's okay.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to kneel down, get up to her level. I assume she's fairly short, I don't know.
Alone with Tyrus.
That's right, yeah.
So she just takes a few steps back, and I'll just be
Absolutely.
just in here.
Yeah, just one moment.
Yes.
Have you got everything you need before I disappear?
You'll leave me here.
I'm afraid so. A few days. He's not going to want this to be the case for very long. You'll be back in your home before you know.
She's a very strange lady.
She is, but she's also under a lot of pressure. You see, you might have noticed that I'm not a particularly polite man, and she seems to think that I'm going to help her an awful lot, so she's trying to keep me very happy.
Well, at least she's an elf.
Very true. That's why I thought you'd get on. Have you ever seen one of these before? He's going to take out the piece of paper that shows that he's acting as a justiciary.
I don't think so.
Have you heard of the justiciaries before?
Yes.
Yes. It's our job to keep people safe from magic users.
Why are you with him?
Desperate times call for desperate measures, don't you see? If we're going to fight them, if we're going to liberate people, we need to use everything we can. Your father would have understood if he was here.
If you're going to fight who?
We need to make sure this world doesn't go bad.
Too many humans.
In a manner of speaking, yes. Anyway, I shouldn't really be showing you this. It's very secret, you understand? But this Lord Osmian will probably like to know that you've met a justiciary. Might help you influence him to come and help you.
Make a persuasion roll.
Oh, it's only a 15.
Okay. If it'll help.
If you see him, don't write it down, but if you see him, you can tell him that Sildon saw you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But you're to tell nobody else that name.
That's you.
That's me. To everyone else, you can just call me Duran or any other name you can think of. It doesn't really matter.
Why do you have two names?
Sometimes I do things for the good of the kingdom, you see, that are frowned upon. It's nice to be able to disappear, so I use many names so people can't track me. Different names mean different things to different people. It's something you'll learn, and you may have to learn fairly quickly, I'm afraid.
Do you like being a half-elf?
It has its advantages. You tend to get overlooked. Being overlooked can be a good thing. To a human, I'm the enemy, into an elf, I'm an enemy, which means that often it means that you can get away with things. People look the other way, you see.
I couldn't imagine what it must be like for you.
Yes, it's harder for others.
Well, I'll stay here then.
Just for now. We'll be back up before you know.
Okay.
If you ever need to reach me, use that name I told you. I'll find out eventually. But use it very, very secretly, okay?
I'm going to give her
Okay.
a whistle ring.
Sylvan assemble! Fall from the sky.
We'll take a quick break. We will come back in round about 6 minutes.
Probably 10.
It'll be 7.
Probably
7
10.
and a
So we have anywhere
Probably
between
10.
sort of 6 and 10 minutes. We will see you very soon. Welcome back.
Oh, look at that. Jesus.
Nearly 6 minutes. We were close.
Well, we really.
That was
That
7.
was the
Oh, 7.
smallest break we've ever had.
Yeah.
I was fast. Bit of ice cream as
It was
well.
only a mini milk.
There's a round of mini milks. If you ever want to see behind the scenes, comment now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
and
we
we
film
might-
that for you.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Bunch of
If you
adult
join
men.
our Patreon, we don't have a Patreon. But if you wanted to see behind the scenes, we could make a Patreon.
Yeah. You
With
can,
more ice creams, less toilet breaks this time.
Yeah, and
It
that's
was
that could
actually,
be bad.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do
that
you need
might-
the
that
toilet?
might turn out to
No,
be
I went pre-mini milk.
okay.
I would
Okay.
post a mini milk.
Yeah, you can't see the inside of the toilet. No amount of money gets you access to that. Oh, dear. No, my day beyond.
You arrive at the base of the hill.
Meanwhile, back at the slight misunderstanding.
You arrive at the base of the hill in Rasnaselhath now.
There
Um,
we go.
You can see a few people walking around.
They can't see us.
You feel very well hidden. You're still having to be somewhat, you're not just, you
Not
can't just
visible.
walk straight through the centre of town, as it were. But it's very easy for you to sort of dart in behind things and feel very, very secure. You return back to the familiar area. You can see one of the first things that you come across actually is the front of Fitfina's house. That is the first building that you guys will come across. The biddy would be a little further on your left, and then a little further on your right again is where the field was with all the spectacled rounds and the large machinery.
That's what
Is
you
the
want us to
tarpaulin
steal.
there?
Tarpaulin is there.
I'm going to touch it. Can I feel something below?
That's what you want us to steal.
What's below this tarpaulin?
A cart.
You know what a car is?
Cart.
Oh, maybe.
That's a
maybe.
carp.
There's a little...
Giant carp.
You say car, Malcolm his cart, and Thorny his carp. You've got very different ideas. And no way to communicate.
I'm going to rub it. It's under there.
It's a very big carp.
It is ours.
Land carp.
You notice on the wall next to you,
Yeah.
on the front of Fitfina's house, is a wanted poster. Another one, very similar, drawn. And they're not exact replicas of one another. These look like they've been hand
That
drawn.
looks a lot like you.
I'll go and have a look. Does it look a lot like me?
It does.
It's a terrible
There's one. I
representation.
mean, maybe you don't think. Give me an insight roll.
Do gnomes have mirrors?
I think it's going to be a dirty 20. I think I've got a +4 on insight. I do.
Yeah. You think it's perfect likeness?
That's a very good likeness, that is. I'm going to take it and fold it. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Next time you
save
go
that.
out to someone, have you seen this man? Yes, he's standing right there.
It's a good likeness, that, yeah.
She must really like you if she's doing art for you.
I'll read it.
It says
Zolan fan art.
it says wanted.
And
a
she
big
really
wanted
wants
for?
you.
and then a big picture of you
I think she likes
She
me.
really wants you.
I think she likes me.
and no other text.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that she fancies me.
Have
It's
neither
written
of you seen a wanted poster before?
It's written in Elvish.
Well, it doesn't say wanted for banditry or...
Well, people
Thieving
don't
or-
generally put wanted posters up because they fancy having you over for tea and biscuits.
I seen that once with somebody lost the jackalope as a pet. They put a picture of a jackalope up. Admittedly, it said missing, not wanted.
What have you done?
I haven't done anything. Not time for this.
Right, okay. Okay.
I've got a car.
Oh,
You don't believe what this is. You're not going to believe.
I'm going to
what this
regret
is.
this.
I'm going
What
to
is
crawl
it?
under the tarpaulin.
Okay.
Gotta see
Right.
it.
The first time Zerlin's more visible. Well, I say it's more visible. There's a very obvious gnome-shaped lump under one side of the
Which is how
tarpaulin.
I would usually describe him anyway.
Wow. Read into this what you will.
Mm.
A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage.
So, I guess that would be footprints and.
Other traces, like the tarp moving.
I still think the tarp is sticking. Whatever that spell does, it's still sticking out while
We'll
he's
call it
underneath
tracks and branches being
Sure. Yeah.
moved.
Yeah.
But tarp
Yeah.
and carp.
The vehicle appears to be there.
Do I see some controls?
you can see exactly what you saw before. You see the brass and steel vehicles. Obviously, very dark under here.
Sort of for an accumulator to plug into.
There's a hull on the front side, sort of the circular. It's almost brass barrel-like structure. 4 wheels with tyres and hubs. 2 sort of bucket seats in the front, and then like a leather bench. Leather bench in the back. There's a variety of valves, chimneys, spouts, and other gnomish type.
Wonderful.
things.
I'm going to crawl back out.
Yeah.
I'm going to quickly see if somebody can look into Fina's house and check she's not here.
Mhm.
She's not in. I'll request somebody to do that.
Yeah.
I'll go and do that.
So, can you give me your stealth roll? You've got a plus, whatever it was, 10, was it? Plus 10.
Oh, good. Because that is. So I've got +5 anyway, so that's 18 in total.
Is it adds 10 to
That's
there,
10.
to what, including the natural bonuses?
Yeah, has a +10 bonus to.
Bonus. Fine. Fine. So yeah, you peek through the window. Fina is in the house. She seems to be in her like a kitchen of sorts that you're peering through, and she's chopping some vegetables.
Right. She's got a knife. Terrific. She's in there. She's got a knife.
I'll be fine. She won't be able to catch us now. Okay?
Is there a door?
There's not directly to the room she's in.
No, but there is an outer door.
There's a door on the front side.
Not just a drop curtain or anything like that. There is actually a door.
There is a door which has once been picked by you guys to the front side. Yes.
Okay, I will go around to the door.
Got a much bigger lock on it now.
I will get hold of the handle and hold it with all my might. So
Okay.
that if somebody the others, I'm assuming it's an open inward door. I'll look to make sure it's an opening inward door before I do something completely ridiculous.
Yes. I can't remember if it was or it wasn't, but yeah, we'll say yes.
I'm going to brace myself against the door so that whoever is inside cannot come out when he does whatever stupid thing he's about to do.
Okay. As you grab that handle, can you give me a sleight of hand with advantage?
With advantage.
With advantage. Oh, that's a natural 20.
Okay. You
Plus
completely
3.
plus your plus 10 for your...
That's 33.
Dexterity, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You do it so silently that you're certain
You've
that...
welded the door.
You're certain that door could not be opened.
I've sort of got the handle, foot up against the wall and braced so that if she comes trying to come out full tilt, she's not going anywhere.
No worries.
I'm much bigger than she is.
Was that 33? I think that's the highest roll of the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
campaign.
33.
33.
So congratulations.
Jeebus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I believe I should get something wonderful for that, you know.
You can,
Help with the tarp, Thorin.
you can have a good thumbs up.
I'm still hearing carp, so I'm looking for like the
Yes.
lake or the
This I'll
pond.
shake the... Get it off.
There's no immediate sign of a lake or pond. Are you removing the tarp?
Yes.
Okay, so as this tarp peels back, this vehicle is revealed, and you've not seen anything like this before. This shiny, very well polished car. It had four wheels, this big brass cylindrical bright hub, fairly large vehicle. You know, we're talking twice the height of most normal cars in modern society. Fairly long, and all covered in all kinds of cogs, chimneys, pulleys, whirlers, another gnomish type.
I'm gonna like run back a bit.
Where are you going? Get in.
Whoa! What's that?
Sorry,
Come on. What is it? A killbot?
No.
A really spiky killing machine?
Think of it as an automated. You'll love this.
What
one.
about the thing
This is the...
Benji and Darak were flying?
No.
Right
no,
around
this
it.
isn't flying. That was from the Stiltmeyer Corporation. This is not.
This is a bad thing.
This is not. This is the future of animal welfare. You will understand when you get in there. You will understand.
Yes,
Thorin,
there's-
come on. This is the future of animal welfare.
18 moons, I'm not getting in that
Come
thing.
on. Thorin, well, you are fast. I will leave you behind. This is objective numero uno.
I'm not going in.
Right,
I'm not going near it.
that's fine. This is more important. You'll be coming
Selden,
in.
you're probably arriving about now, down to the bottom of this hill.
I'm going to go and grab him.
All you can hear is whispered noises coming from these things that you can't
I
quite
can-
see out
I
of
can
the
see the
corner
tarp
of
we
your eye.
removed.
Yeah, the tarp's dancing around.
I will roll stealth on it. It's a natural 20 for
Hey!
29.
Filthy.
Oh, that's still not a 33.
So I'm on 33.
Plus
I'm on
9.
33. Plus 9 to stealth.
Blimey. I didn't even know you're there, probably. You
Yeah.
snuck up on us.
We don't know you're there. You don't know we're there.
What?
I saw a tarp.
Just a
removed.
tarpaulin dancing around.
Ships in the night.
Yeah, you probably saw the tarp being folded onto the
Yeah.
floor, seemingly out of nowhere. Sure,
I
do
think I'm
something.
gonna sneak on board.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
You're the only one, apart from him, who's seen this thing before, haven't you?
Yeah. I wonder what's going on.
The vehicle of note is facing the way of the exit to the town. It's parked in that direction.
Cool.
Convenient.
Perfect.
So, Selden is sneaking on board this vehicle. There's 5 seats. Well, there's 2 front seats, which be the main operational parts, and then there's this rear bench as well.
Rear bench. He's a cool kid.
Rear bench.
Scrolls out.
Yeah, with his feet up.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a step up, a few steps up because obviously it's designed for a gnome to ascend, and then this nice, comfortable black leather bench on the back seat.
Love it.
With these black leather
Pack off.
chairs in the front.
I assume they're all nearby.
These guys, they are. Malkin's bracing the door. Thorinir and Zolan
Big
are.
rig.
Yeah. I'm climbing the board. Thorin is just going to have to catch us up. He'll soon want to be a part of this party. You just don't know it yet.
Bloody hope.
Yeah. The future of
Otherwise
animal
he's
welfare, you'll realise.
Staying here to be a father for the rest of his
Yeah.
life.
As you say that, a little way from down the road, you see the door to the biddies house just open, and she takes a couple of steps out.
I'm getting in the truck.
Hurry up.
What's happening?
I'm getting in the truck.
Whatever you're going to do, Zolan, do it fast.
Which seat are you taking?
The driver's seat. I need to, wherever I can fit my accumulator.
Yeah, there's a very obvious large slot in the
Yeah.
front between the centre 2 seats for the accumulator.
I'll be like whisper shouting at Thorin, like, I can't get it out of my bag! I need some help! I can't get the accumulator, it's too heavy! Thorin, help me, please!
Where's this cup?
Climb aboard, Thorin.
Right, I'm going to
Come aboard, come aboard.
Right, you want right?
I'm trying to pull this thing out of
What
my
do you want?
sack.
What do you want?
Help me pull this thing out of the bag, please. Please, Thorin, it's important. It's the future.
Wait, what's in that
It's
bag?
the future of animal welfare. It's the future of animal welfare.
You got demons in there. I ain't
Don't
going near that
have
bag.
Help the bag! Malcolm.
I'm going to go and get Malcolm and just like, what's going on?
Give him a hand. I'm holding the door here.
Why have people painted him? What's this beast killer?
It's not a beast.
I don't know
What's
what
Zolan got in his bag?
I don't know, but just help him. We're running out of time here.
It's the future of animal welfare. You'll understand when we get there.
By the gods.
Right, stick your head in. Prove it.
I'll stick my head in. I'll stick my head straight in. Do you want me to roll anything?
Into
Head's
the
in the
bag.
bag, yeah.
Okay.
It's more important things to worry about. I'm not afraid of the bag. The bag is fine.
You can very stealthy.
All,
It's
all coincidence. Stop looking at paper.
I've got rustling papers.
Stop looking at paper. Got a good investigation as well. It's tough.
You want a bad
I
investigation?
do. Oh, actually,
If playing Call
Is
of
this-
Cthulhu's taught me anything, you want a bad investigation.
is this an ability check?
Yeah.
Because I'm exhausted. I've got a disadvantage on them, so that's good.
Okay.
Maybe. It's nothing to do with the bag
You
anyway.
want some
What am I saying?
Hillmatic lard before you do this.
Thank you. You like a roll?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Kill him.
Investigation.
Disadvantage. The first of 13. 10. It's a 16.
Okay. Yeah, you look in the bag.
There's nothing in the
Yeah,
bag.
it's nothing in the bag. Like normally, it's just this black, dark, empty, grand space.
But there is an accumulator. Could you help me?
So he's sending him.
Sylvan's going to reach forward and help you. You probably don't know he's there.
No, Dusty, yeah.
Do I know you're there? Because you're very
I
stealthy
don't
as
know.
well.
You'll become, at this point. I mean, you're all sat in the same
Yeah.
car.
I
You're
imagine
reach
you
over,
know
like,
we're there, but we don't know you're there, yeah.
Yeah.
A
You're
peer out of the back seat, like a zombie film. Like,
You still, even when stealth, you still have to be behind something. So you I guess you sort of duck down behind panels and things. Yeah.
He's going to reach forward and try and pull out the bag. He's a very gaunt guy, actually, so not a very strong man, but he'll be able to help you pull it out.
I'll be like, ah! Anyway.
Will you get a move on?
The Billy's just sort of walking in the opposite direction at the moment.
Perfect. Is the accumulator out?
The accumulator's gone out, yeah. It's still heavy and glowing.
I'm familiar with the plugs.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking for where that's going to go, or this is going to go, or
you did investigate this thing, right?
Yeah. Study the accumulator, but I'm ready to plug in.
Yeah, you're comfortable. It's going to take just a little bit of time because there's a few bits and pieces to plug in, but there's maybe 3 or 4 key bits you've got to connect, and you can work it out. Different twisting mechanisms and certain things that plug together, and so on. As you connect these cables with the big brass caps at either end of this glowing accumulator, which just lights this front part of this vehicle up now as well. So the front part of it is sort of illuminated this sort of aquamarine kind of turquoise colour. There's just this glow coming from the front seats.
Welcome to the future, Thorin.
Whereas unnatural.
Welcome to the future.
What does it do?
Of animal welfare.
It's this large... The device... Is this the first time you've seen it? Yeah. So it's this a few foot tall device. It's not dissimilar size to Zola.
Wait. Have I seen the accumulator? Because it was coming out of the...
You were
field.
in with the biddies. We stole this on your night.
You investigated it when you got stabboed.
No, we investigated it before that. Because we done a night and I didn't sleep. That's when I got exhausted. And then we got murked. And that's one thing. Did I pull it out of the bag? I left the jade sword, and I'm pretty sure I left the accumulator there because I didn't want a riot,
Either way.
I've seen it, I don't trust it.
Yeah, it's this glowing... It's hard to tell if it's liquid or gas inside it. And it's this glowing kind of... aquamarine something, mass of some nature inside this large glass, heavy, foot-wide cylinder with these 2 big, heavy brass caps on either end, sort of cap it. And it's got just a few wires and cogs and bits hanging out of either end.
Animal welfare, you've trapped some fey spirits in there.
That's not
I'm going to be like knocking to see how thick the glass is, or the...
I'm not going to lie, I'm not familiar with what powers the accumulator. So I can't be 100% sure this is the future of animal welfare. But at the moment, I'm certain that this is the future of animal welfare.
Compressed animals.
I'm not actually familiar yet, but we'll study.
Malcolm, your friends are all on the...
where's the ignition?
I'm still holding the door because I have a sneaking suspicion that now that this thing is now glowing and there's all sorts of excitement going on around it, I have a horrible feeling that something is going to either explode or catch fire or at least draw the attention of everybody within a half-mile radius.
That's probably going to happen, yeah. Is this thing... Are we on? Have I got the feeling that we're on?
You're confident it's plugged in and attached correctly. There's a number of other switches and gauges sort of on the front panel.
Yeah, we need to turn them on. Not the lights. We need the ignition.
If you give me...
And first gear.
Give an investigation roll, and if you have one, you can add your land vehicle proficiency.
What? Oh, I've got land vehicle proficiency.
Have you?
Yeah, I think I have.
I don't know if I have land vehicle.
Yeah, I have.
Proficiency.
I could probably try this thing. In the meantime, is there anything that I can find, anything nearby that I could sort of wedge through the door handle or something to wedge the door shut with?
Cheers. Just get onto the online.
You can give me a perception roll.
That is a 14. 16.
There's an empty barrel just round one of the side alleyways that you spot. That you think maybe with a little bit of angling you could probably...
Just so that I can wedge the door shut, so just to buy us a bit of time.
Yeah.
I will do that then.
If you give me another sleight of hand to see how sort of quietly you can do so.
That's 14.
14. Yeah, I'm comfortable. You don't make a great deal of noise as you do it. Very, very careful.
Yeah.
You get an extra 10.
Plus 10.
That's 27 total.
Yeah. So, yeah. You do a good job carefully manipulating that. A monk-like stealth.
Monk-like stealth. I don't know where I'd find... Oh, there's proficiencies.
Yeah, it's on there. Proficiencies and languages.
Doesn't say.
Malcolm is your trained driver.
Alright, yeah, I'll. Now
Nobody's.
that I've wedged the door shut, I'm going to join my companions on this strange contraption. Is this
10.
like a horse and cart or something? Ox and
It's
cart?
not just like an oxen cart.
This is going to be pretty wild.
How'd you steer it?
You
Take a
notice,
seat.
Okay.
as you sort of sat there, Thorin, it, these guys are sort of concentrating on the panels and things. You notice the biddy's now turned around, sort of walking back in this direction, generally.
Time to go.
It was only a 10.
A 10.
Make it go.
Looking all around, there's a lot of switches. You might try a couple of them.
Oh
perhaps.
yeah, try them all.
None of them seem to be quite.
Can I try some random switches?
You can try. If you want to give investigation edge or land vehicle,
That's a
Oh
one.
no!
A one.
Why did
Malcolm presses the horn.
so let's try carefully. What's this one?
Yeah, Malcolm just presses the horn. And it's very loud. I mean, none of you have really heard a sound like this before. It's quite
That's
unusual.
cool, it's great, have fun!
And the biddy instantly looks up and sees you.
Right. Trying every switch. Get it back! Get it back! All of you kids, get it back! Get it back!
Such a good time for a one. The biddy looks across and paying of his great attention to this glowing and beeping vehicle. And evidently you expect anyone in the building next to you may have heard. Yes, there's still a number of switches. You obviously haven't found the right
No, I'm still
combination.
going. I'm pressing every switch. In the back. In the back.
Yeah. I'm happy you can give me another roll as 6 seconds has passed.
Problem is I'm exhausted. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You
I'm
are.
gonna.
14, 15. That's alright. It's a 20, not
20.
natural. Yes.
Okay.
So I got a 14 and a 15.
There is a button labelled in no mesh.
Oh.
Just very small writing. You just about make it out. Sort of slightly under where all the other switches are. Almost looks like a slightly secretive compartment.
I don't know.
And it says normal on it. And if you think, oh, you press that button and it powers up. Sounds like a tractor, like a really loud vehicle.
Like it.
All of the pistons start going, firing up and down. The smoke starts billowing out from the chimney. The energy or the liquid or whatever it is seems to sort of excite in the accumulator. It starts sort of bubbling or fizzing or in some way it's stimulated. And the vehicle is very, very definitely on. Beeping, glowing, with now these pistons and smoke.
Does this
Yeah,
thing
in the
have?
middle of
Does it have safety ropes? built in?
There are no. Yeah, there's no seatbelts.
There's no
So,
safety ropes.
No.
Oh well.
No.
Is it tethered to the side of the building?
Well, the building's coming with
Wall
us.
out.
Now, can you see the door handle kind of turning
No.
from the side?
Nolan, we have to
Are
go.
we looking for pedals or levers?
Yeah.
What? Where's the drive?
Again, if you give me your intelligence land vehicle proficiency.
Oh, that was lucky. That's 17.
17.
Do you
You're.
get advantage on intelligence if it's a magic?
I think you might be
creation
right,
thing?
actually. Yes. Let's have a quick look. Features and traits.
There's no time to read the manuals. Nolan. We've got to go.
Open the glove compartment, get the manual out. Tire pressures.
You have advantage on note savers, artificer's law, proficiency, history checks. You're proficient with tinker's tools. No, it's history checks I've got.
Okay. So, so it's intelligence. It's your roll 17. There are a couple of different cranks. Did you get disadvantage for your exhaustion?
Yes.
Yeah. There are a couple of different cranks and levers. There's some similarities to the control mechanism on like the dreadnought that was next to.
Didn't go in.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
didn't
enough.
go in that one.
There's some similarities for those who did. And you can just about work out this combination of different cranks that pops open from this front panel. these two additional handles, just look like kind of brass or copper handles,
Lovely.
which are on a rotational axis, such that there is some control as to the direction.
We're off.
You work it out. You pull a couple of cranks, pull this thing, move to the side, and you realise that you have a steering control there in the front. And as you push it forward or pull it back, the vehicle jolts into action, and you guys start driving forward. Very unsettling, particularly someone like you, Thorin, here.
I'm going to be scrambling to get out.
I'll hold him down.
He's
Put my hand
probably
on his shoulder.
he is. It's been a while. He's probably never driven anything before. He's only seen things like that, so it will definitely be a bit all over the road as we're off.
The door is still rattling behind you.
So long, we've got to go.
No.
The biddy's looking down the road, and she looks at you, and she's just smiling.
Blow her a kiss.
I'm going to throw a silver piece.
And as she does so, she responds to you in Wood Elvish. Thank you. Goodbye.
We're gonna wave.
She blows you a kiss.
I'll throw another.
Okay.
We're going to kick it into
She
top
takes
speed.
it.
Yes.
You.
60 feet a second. We're quick.
It is. It is somewhat quick. It's the equivalent of. It's pretty fast. Pretty fast.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, it jolts into action and it gets its acceleration gets to sort of its maximum speed fairly quickly.
Hopefully
to be
we've
honest.
navigated the town and we're heading on the long entrance of the ranch.
You
Hopefully.
again, I would like an intelligence land or dexterity land vehicle proficiency. I'm going to keep saying that. I know you haven't got it, but you
I
would.
might have it. I'll have to have a little check. It would seem.
Solo, would you like me to drive?
This
Is it going to be...
this is a dream of a gnome! Do not take it away from him! He's going to shout like that into the back.
I reckon you'd have to put the seat right back.
I might need some. I might need a rub of some Maidlock lard, not Maidlock lard,
Yeah.
Hill Maddock lard
Roll
at
him
some
down,
point
roll him
because
down.
we could end up crashing at some point. 16. We've got some all right. Oh, it's not too good. What was that?
Inspiration. Take inspiration.
Give him some inspiration. Give him something. Give him anything. I don't want to run into a tree.
Be alright. It's got many hit points. We'll go straight through.
I'm going to remove one level of your exhaustion.
Well, I guess.
Oh, it does.
Rob him down
It does
with
do
lard.
that, doesn't it?
Rob him down with lard.
Well,
Maybe this will help.
I guess
Are
I
you trying
rolled.
to drive?
Well, there was a 5 to begin with. Then I got lathered up.
Yeah.
So we'll take the 5
Mm.
and we'll run with
If
it.
anyone tried to rub waxy substance on you,
That's
while you're
probably
driving-
why. It's in my eyes.
I've just gone,
Ah!
I got you.
I reckon because you've probably got maybe one more use of that because
Yeah.
you've used quite a bit of it. There's a little bit
I'll
left
put
in the
a little
bottle.
thing on there.
No worries.
While he's blinded by the stuff, I'll grab one of the handles.
Okay.
Oh no.
Just a random.
That's a natural 20. Oh yes, baby.
A random
No,
handle.
one of the steering handles because he's
Oh,
getting
sure,
smothered
yeah.
with goo around the
Yeah.
wheel.
So as you do so, you sort of grab one of these handles. You're about to crash into a wall, and then Malcolm manages to redirect you from over your shoulder and prevents it. You also, with your natural 20, at the same time, you see another another switch which you sort of trigger that makes the car go even faster. Almost a turbo mode. This
Turbo?
fluid starts really bubbling and firing. The pistons are cranking 100 miles an hour, and you're all sort of thrown back in your seats as it goes into this overdrive. And it's very hard to control, but you're having the time of your life over Zolan's shoulder as you've got lard in your eyes.
Well, I don't know where we're going anymore.
Yeah, we're just sort of exiting the town.
Very
Where are we
quickly.
going? Where are we going?
Get your hands off the wheel, Malcolm!
I'm doing better than you did.
Everyone's looking. Obviously, all the ladies around at sort of at the side. And, oh my! And there's a lot of shouting. There's a big cacophony of noise. Obviously, the concentration might still technically veiled, but you're operating a fairly large vehicle. So,
Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah, we have.
Silent.
if you can give me a save to see if your concentration's still held.
Yes.
Exhausted level 9.
Oh, it's a 6. Oh, does it add anything? What am I doing here?
So it'll be against your concentration, whatever your spell.
Yeah, which
Casting.
is, I think,
Wisdom,
like
probably?
16 or something. 18. I got 6.
So it's but to break concentration, it'll be 6 plus whatever your wisdom modifier
plus
is.
4.
Plus 4, 10. Yeah, so concentration breaks at somewhere near there. Concentration's probably broken at this point, Thorin, to be honest with you.
Well, I think people were going to see the car.
Exactly. I think the veil is somewhat
Kind of difficult to be stealthy.
the illusory nature.
Driving at high velocity, screaming at each other.
You see the women with the sticky out tooth and the other one with the one tooth still sat in that same place
That's
on
the
that
Malcolm
same,
took to bed.
that same porch. I don't think he ever quite got there.
Oh, not quite.
All I can remember is grey.
Yeah, you would have got 1,000 XP.
And they're sort of muttering, and the kids are laughing and pointing, and you almost run one over, but it just sort of dies out. Malcolm just turns the wheel.
Get you
enough.
next time!
And you're tearing up the streets, mud flying behind you.
Zolan's really stroppy, and he's turning the car off. He's pressed the button.
Okay.
What have you done?
He's from not normal to not normal.
Yeah.
What have you done?
He's gone.
Okay.
He goes, I'm not touching your Kurosagama, am I?
Well, you weren't looking where we were going. Look,
What was it? You
coming
grabbed
after
the
us.
wheel. Is what you did.
Right, fine. You drive. Go on.
There's
Let's
such
just get going.
When the car's turned off, there's such a crunching sound. It sort of goes from full speed. In fact, if everyone can just give me a dex save. It's like pulling the keys out of the ignition as you're doing 80 on the motorway.
I forgot we were in turbo mode.
Well done, dipshit.
14.
12.
13.
As long as it doesn't cause damage, I don't have a thing. If it causes damage, I have a thing for this. But if it doesn't, then I don't. I don't know. It's an attacker.
I can fix
an
it.
attacker, you see
Doesn't
hits
matter.
you with an attack.
You can
do
fix
half
it. Well,
the
they're all
damage.
coming chasing after us.
That's fine. We just need some calm in the car,
Dex.
and we will carry on.
Some calm.
Because I will turn this carrying automobile rotator back around, and we'll walk to Aqua.
We're going to Aqua. We're not
I don't know where we're
You're
going.
going to Aqua?
Yeah,
Where are we going? We're not
elves
going.
or side.
we're not
Choose
going to
one of the
Aqua.
two. That's where we're going.
What did you
One
roll?
is to be
18.
You all just about hold on, but it was such a crunchy, kind of horrible, jolty stop. It made sounds that it didn't feel like it should make. And just crunches to a stop and sort of drifts slightly through this mud, juddering, and as it sort of stops.
Definitely.
Right, can you see where you're going now?
No.
All the kids are laughing their heads off. Like,
Clean them out. We'll fire up. Can we have some quiet in the car, please? Can we have some quiet in the car, please?
Can we just go?
Turn the car back on again.
okay, yeah, no problem. There's people sort of gathering round, and the ladies are stood up, and again fires up, and these pistons start going
And we'll
again.
gently drive away. Controlled.
Yeah, no problem. And slower
Are you
pace.
steering?
I'm steering. Nobody press any bloody buttons. Stop pressing the button. Turn the car off again. Stop pressing the buttons. I'm gonna put a taxi mesh so that on the back, so I can close it over. Obviously not yet. He's thinking about upgrades in the future. I don't turn the car off. We proceed.
You're on the back seat. You're on the front seat. Where are you two?
I guess in the back.
Yeah.
Must be in
I feel like Malcolm's leaning probably over the
there
seat.
you go.
There'll be room in the front or the back.
I'll be in the front then. If
You're in
these
the
two
front.
are in the back, I'll
Children's never prayed before in his life. But this might be the first time.
No problem.
Our Lady of Divine Acceleration, don't let me down.
The future. Animal welfare, Thorin here.
I don't get it.
Welcome to the. Yeah, we haven't got a freaking beast of burden.
How is it helping animals though?
Well, because they can just live in. They can just
I
live
think
a
you're
life.
running into that fence right there.
No, admittedly, Mal can help me avoid that fence. It's the future. We need, yeah. Where are we going, by the way? We're going to get to the end of
What
this
else?
road,
What
and we
else?
have to
What
make
are
a
we doing?
choice of where.
South or slightly less south?
Well, previously when you entered the village, if you remember, you came through that large signpost at the front with the smaller purple sign next to it as well.
I'm fairly sure we probably wrecked that on the way out.
You came from kind of the path which led to the sort of northeast. Because no, is that where you came from? Where did you come from? Where's the map? Where's the map?
Where's the map?
I've got a digital copy of it.
Children's lost the
Real
map.
copy of it.
It's the only map in Equa.
Yeah, because you came from Spetakaza.
That's why I don't get. That's why I don't give it to anyone.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so you headed from Spetakaza, which was to return there would be to your northeast
Okay.
on the map.
Cool.
But we want to go.
But we don't know where we are right now, do
But the other path, which because you sort of came up to this place from the northeast, came to the entrance, and then there was a second. The path just continued. The one that you had been following from Spetkaza further, sort of southwest. This was just a stop off on the way, as it were.
Are we going to the mines? We were planning on going to the mines.
Mines are south.
I'd like to go. Oh, that's fine. We were heading south.
As you're talking, you have to talk quite loudly because it's a very loud vehicle. You know, it's open air, and it's just chugging and grinding.
Go left.
Following these sounds are just so unnatural.
Go left. Out the gate, go left.
Is that south?
Yes.
Left it is then.
It'll be the other left.
Your other left.
Right. Bloody backseat drivers.
I'm in the front seat.
Front seat co-pilots. We'll turn right.
I've got the map upside down.
So that looks like it's
That's always the case. Isn't
that
it?
looks like it's heading to kind of the southwest, whereas you would come from the northeast to Spetkaza
we'll head that way.
previously.
I'm assuming that the people that potentially are following us are not following us.
Oh,
at the
there's a
speed.
general gathering.
Oh,
everyone is generally following.
But no one's
No one
keeping
else
up.
is getting
We're
out for
arrows
that.
plugging into the rear fender. Pitchforks, flaming torches being flung at us.
You've no idea if Fina got out of her door or not.
No, it's good. It's probably best you didn't see this.
I think she heard
Should
it.
have seen out the window.
Yeah, it's probably best you didn't see this.
So you drive this vehicle. And it's quite an experience, you know. This is the first time any of you have travelled at these types of speeds in a vehicle of this
Are
nature.
we going to be able to breathe?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm breathing. No, we're all right.
You feel the wind rushing. There's this smoky smell constantly.
Zolan's slowing it down. He's
It'll
probably,
never catch
he's probably
on.
a cautious driver. He's probably slowing it down to
Yeah.
probably 40 feet.
Okay, sure. So, yeah, very.
Just a
very
bit faster than Zolan's running. That's quick
Yeah.
for Zolan. 40 feet. He's like, bloody hell.
But it still feels quite quick to be
Yeah.
sitting down and moving like this. It's just so, you know, it's like, yes, particularly Thorinir is just such an unusual.
You'll notice that he's not talking, and he's got very white knuckles. He's holding his sleeve, and he's almost like just like humming, trying to take his mind off it. He doesn't. Yeah, he's blanking it out.
Malcolm is loving this. He's never experienced anything quite like it, and it's great. Unleashed the speed freak in him.
The land here is patchy grass, so there's areas of grass, quite dry grass. In the Gold Spell, everything's pretty hot and dry. There's not a huge amount of rain traditionally. Patchy grass, big patches of grass, and then patches of sort of barren land, sort of slightly scorched earth and the like. The experience which you found across the Elven territory so far, which is that there's vast spaces of barren land in between settlements, instantly again feels familiar as you leave this stopover of Rasnasel Hafna. But you are quite. It's a nice feeling to not be walking. Normally to travel this distance, you've got your heavy packs on. It's a tiring thing to traverse many miles of land. It's the only way to get around. So to have this alternative, whilst it might be slightly scary and slightly alien, that there's some perks to this as well.
How you doing, Thorinir? Welcome to the future. Are you okay?
The future of animal welfare.
How you doing, Silden?
He's been muttering to himself, but other than that, not really said anything for a little while. But now that it feels more relaxed,
Give the thumbs
I think
up
he's
over there.
absolutely
Give the
fine.
thumbs
Yeah,
up.
He's loving it.
Malcolm's found a pair of goggles under the seat and has put them on.
Sure.
Like that. And he's grinning from ear to ear, and he's got flies all stuck in his teeth.
I probably see Malcolm's enjoyment. I feel bad shouting at him. I think I'll offer him a ride. Oh, actually, first I'm going to look at the accumulator to just get a measure on my fuel source. You've got to be careful these days with fuel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to replenish this thing yet.
Yeah.
How's the accumulator looking?
Give me an investigation roll.
Oh, I do get something against alchemical devices. I'm certain of it. Where is it? I'm certain of it.
I was pretty sure you did.
Magical tip. Yeah, I'm certain there's something in here that I've.
This is certainly an alchemical device.
It is an alchemical device. Savant infuse item.
Can I have a go?
Yes.
Can I?
Can we have our ball back, please?
Yeah, my bomber, please. I'll find it. Definitely something in there.
No worries. Well, give me an investigation for now,
Yeah, that is a 13.
and then give me an Arcana roll.
Ooh, that's a +3, I think. Arcana for a 17.
Okay. You're not certain it's fuel.
Okay. Must be fey creatures. Oh God, I feel really bad now.
You're sure? You're certain it's critical to powering this machine.
Yeah.
But you're not sure that it's being consumed.
What the hell is it? I'm trying to think back of the gnomish principles of turning. Hot, cold, and wet. Hot, turning, wet. That's definitely 3 of them. I've got them written down.
Yeah.
Hot, magic, wet, and turning.
Yeah.
That looks magic.
That's like magic.
Magic, yeah. What type of magic?
Yeah. There's probably a few of those powers involved in this.
Yeah.
While you're
You're
studying,
confident.
can I drive?
Yeah, I feel really bad for
I'm sorry
for
for
dad
shouting.
moding on everybody.
Sorry for shouting at you. I shouldn't have shouted.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry as well, Mark. Could you forgive me?
Yeah.
Take it for a spin, but go steady.
What households did you grow up in?
I don't know. What do you mean?
Things don't resolve like that when you're a kid.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry,
true.
son. I'm sorry too, Father. I'll never do that again.
No, hugging maker.
I'll agree to anything as long as I get to drive.
I'll step aside. Yeah. We're gonna have to have that awkward thing where you grab the wheels and I've got to go between your arms
It's a bit of
into
sort
the
of
other seat, and then you've got to go in between.
It's lucky you're so small.
Yeah.
You can sit on my lap and steer.
If you can just all give me a simultaneous turn to the left, and then a turn to the right. Yeah.
I wonder if
Star
we're
Trek
moving.
style.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
all the same way on screen then. Go to the right.
Yeah, we've got all the effects here
Oh,
on
we're
die
the-
rolling.
And the other way.
And then you feel the wind in your hair. Yeah.
It's like Inception. The room's just going to turn upside down in a minute.
Yeah, and the insects in your mouth. There you go. You do not get better than that.
I'm going to be trying to dodge the insects.
So yeah, notably, just a little bit more as Malcolm's sort of getting to grips with it. It's a little bit jolty for a minute, but you quickly get to grips with it. What with your land vehicle training? Where did you come about that land vehicle training, Malcolm?
Oh, in the Equine Armed Forces.
Yeah, if you're a soldier. That'll be why.
Very good. You wouldn't have driven anything quite like this.
No, but I can understand the principles of steering.
Sure. Yeah.
That's step 1 of
What about
driving a motor
parallel
vehicle.
parking?
I'll come to that later.
You do see the odd traveller on your way.
But not quite as old as us.
Unless you'd like to stop for any of them, there's no reason to. None of them are sort of
They got
standing.
their thumbs out.
They're holding you all reflective.
None of them are sort of blocking your path.
Somebody's holding up Equa. Yeah. Crashed them off.
They very much get out the way with plenty of room.
They seem shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them just have their head down like they haven't even seen you. Others seem visibly alarmed, just sort of jump to the side.
Shout cowabunga as we pass.
But there's one road, again, not particularly well. I mean, this isn't a concreted road. This is a big path at best, which is running down this pretty desolate area. There's the occasional beasts that you see of roaming creatures of different types. You don't see any more feathered beasts, but a few wardrocks, a maidlox or two. You might even see a jackalope, a few other creatures of the area.
Create the world's first roadkill.
A stray mangoose or two, maybe a spectacled wren here and there.
Welfare future.
Don't look for it.
There's not a great deal of trees, the odd one here and there. There's not a great deal of wildlife. There's not a great deal of flora. The vast majority of it is bracken, bush, shrubbery. It's hot, but you're cooled by this wind that's constantly rushing upon you, although you can feel yourself sweating still in the warm gold spell air. And you can drive fairly unimpeded and joyfully for quite a number of hours on that road heading south.
Till it gets dark and Malcolm can't see.
We probably have lights. No, I don't know.
Of note, the car is emanating its own sort of light
Yes.
through this acumen.
Cool.
It's not like a beamed light, so it's not particularly heading forwards, but the car as a whole has this little...
Gigantic lantern.
There's still a lot of sunlight, so it's hard to make out to what extent that would extend, but you're aware that you are generating light of some nature.
Nice. Must look like some sort of creepy metallic demon chuntering down the road.
Metallic demon. It's definitely a Meatloaf song to be written about this, I think, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Is there anything particularly the group of you are doing other than the driver whilst you're travelling?
I'm going to be reading.
Okay.
Reading
Mind
that
you
book.
don't get sick.
Yeah, that makes you feel
Might
sick.
do,
Yeah, I'll warn
Thursday
you.
the road sickness.
Yeah, that
Give
might
me-
make you feel sick.
Give me a constitution save
Oh, yeah.
to see how travel sick Silden is.
Hit me with
So
your
far
best
we've got the
shot.
world's first roadkill and the world's
21.
first travel sick.
Okay.
21.
You're able to manage it quite well. You
Stomach
don't. Yeah.
seal.
You don't feel ill. You're able to
We
read.
envied those kids. You could read in a car, not feel sick.
You're able to
What's
read.
the opposite kind.
Oh, a road sign.
Do you have a spyglass or anything similar?
That's a very good point. Do I have a pair of optics on me or anything that would manage it? I don't think I do, you know, but I'll have a look, see. Have a little look. I've got some fine clothes, if that includes some optics. Other than that, probably not. I've got a cigar on me. That'd be cool, driving the car. No, I don't think so.
No. So it's a very difficult, slow-going read. You're sort of having to squint, look really up close. Amazing, you're not feeling travel sick. You'd imagine it would be considerably quicker and easier if you did have something of that nature.
Got a pair of goggles.
Yeah, that you found in the car.
The book. There's something interesting about this book. It's not the way it's worded, the way it's written. Almost feels special in some way.
Well, like it's coded.
Can't quite put your finger on it at first pass. The words are all about, though, how to make friends and influence people. how to influence people. How to
Remember their kids' names.
how to use your leadership. How to assert control over others.
Right up your street.
Yeah, sounds quite good.
And the way,
A bloody good read.
but the way it's written, the text is almost in sort of a pattern. It feels rhythmic. It feels.
I like a haiku.
It does fit. There's a poetic nature
You
to
want
it.
more friends, and you want them to do stuff. Talk to me. Read books.
Nice. Well done.
It feels. Yeah. There's a poetry to it. And for a few moments after you've finished a passage, because occasionally you probably have to squint away just to refocus your eyes after looking at that small print for so long, you feel those passages going over and over in your head in that rhythmic sort of chant-like fashion.
Probably fine.
It will take you a long time to read this book, though. You're not going to do it on a
That's
single
fine.
car journey. But you can.
How far we go?
Blackpool Pleasure Beach, let's go!
Your gut feeling is there's something interesting about this book.
Cool.
Anything particularly Thorin or Malcolm you guys are doing?
I'm driving.
You are driving.
Fanning yourself.
I'm fanning myself.
Yeah.
Look, I've just given
It is
away
hot.
all my good stuff again. Well, there's that book. It was a good book, that book. Give my car away.
You glow.
Classic.
No,
Classic.
Saturday, I've got nothing again.
Oh yeah, the globe.
No, man, give the globe to Malcolm.
Just a glass globe.
Just a glass globe. Nothing's just a glass globe.
Did you shake it?
It's got
I did
tiny
try.
bits
I
of
did
snow
try
in it.
shaking it. Yeah, it wasn't any snow in it.
Got a little Alice Manor in there.
It had 2 words written on it as well, if you
Oh, it
recall.
did.
yes.
Yeah.
What were they?
Um,
So I can write them down on my
I
notes.
think
Which
you
keep
can make them
disappearing.
up.
they were
At least that's what I was
Aura,
looking
A-U-R-E,
Oh.
and Cala, C-A-L-A.
Bonk yourself.
Yeah, it was on the face of the book.
Aura and Cara.
Cala.
Cala.
And what do they say backwards? For some reason?
Alash Aral.
I thought I figured it out.
That's a good job.
I solved the game.
You win.
Game over.
So just driving. This thing hasn't got a great deal of suspension, I'll be honest. You feel every bump and undulation in the road.
But even though that it's bumpy and it's loud and it's rough, it's still the best car in the world.
It's the only car in the world. In Echo, not in Echo.
You haven't seen a great deal,
I
yeah.
haven't seen a great deal, no.
Yeah, no, you've not seen. None of you've seen a vehicle like this before.
You've seen that thing that killed all those
Yeah.
spectacle wrens?
Yeah.
Sort of vehicle.
Well, the only thing this kills is that jackalope, so we're doing all right.
After a long period of driving, it's a number of hours, unless you wanted to stop beforehand. It's just starting to get a little cooler. We're into the late afternoon now at this point. We're sort of, I don't know, approaching early evening now at this stage. You've seen the odd person here and there, a few beasts, like I said. But finally you come to the first thing that looks remotely interesting in any fashion after miles and miles and miles of
Oh, it's
desolation.
a good job we weren't walking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It'd take us weeks.
Very good point.
You come across effectively a crossroads. There's a way in front of you. I'm describing this because there's various things here that you would see before getting all the way up and then be like, oh, look where we are. It's a crossroads. You're coming from the north side of this crossroads, and there look to be a turning heading straight across. The road just continues in effect, and then there's a turning which looks to be pretty hard to the left and to the right.
Makes sense, being a crossroad.
It is a
I
crossroads.
was hoping that was the case.
Yeah, it is a crossroads. There are a few things that you see. First of all, you see some people. There's a few people around. This looks like an area where people have gathered. It doesn't look like they've just randomly bumped into one another. This is a little post of some nature where people sort of gathered on this checkpoint. It doesn't look quite the same as the Spettercars Curtain checkpoint, but there's some similarities to this. There's 3 very unusual, long, thin, canvas-like, sort of tan-coloured canvas structures, which are flat. They're probably 12 foot long, but only a couple of feet wide, and they're sort of winged on either side. So there's the 2 sticking out kind of wings either side. There's, I want to say there's people. There's like dozens of people here. It's not just 2 or 3.
And are they the sides of the road or crowding in the middle of the road?
There's a couple of them huddled to the side. A few of them are sort of right in the middle of that checkpoint, just the side of the checkpoint. There's quite a lot of people around here. There's a signpost, which at this point you definitely can't read. It's too far away, which clearly indicates what's in the different directions. You just can't read it yet.
Not made for approaching traffic. Giant ones on the motorway.
And that's about everything that you can make out at the moment.
Okay, so our arrival is not going to be subtle.
No.
I mean, you're seeing this from quite away in the distance. If you can see them, given the amount of noise and smoke you're making,
They've already seen it.
they're going to be able to see you pretty soon if they haven't already. Are you still driving? Have you stopped?
Should we stop?
Malcolm's driving.
We'll stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do know how to stop. Do I know how to stop? I think
Do
I'll
you know
jump
how
in
to
steer. Zolan, we ought to stop.
Do you know how to stop?
Nope. Show me how to stop. Getting closer and closer. We might really probably want to stop.
I'm trying to think if you just pull the wheel back.
Pull the wheel back. Pulls the wheel back.
Okay. You grind to a halt.
Switch off the motor.
Something looks like a handbrake. I know what a handbrake is. Carts have handbrakes. You pull on the handbrake.
Okay. Yeah. You stop the vehicle.
Right. Well, they all know we're here. Should we go
I'm
say
gonna
hello?
get
Well, they all know someone's here. They don't know we're all here.
Oh, you're going to do that sneaky thing again, aren't you?
You give it a go.
Okay.
Might help out.
No witnesses. Everybody just falls. Oh,
Like Yondu.
Yondu? I don't know. I'm going to Google Yondu right now.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay, yes.
Oh,
Now it
okay.
makes sense now, yeah. I was assuming it was like a 70s cartoon for some reason. But no, I know.
Yeah, someone's going to get out. But it's just probably pretty barren, right? And it's not particularly dark.
So, there is, whilst it's barren where we are most of the way, on your right-hand side now, so to the west side of the path, because we're heading south, there is a cliff face at this point that has appeared over, just sort of slowly over time. And you
up or down?
ascending, so you're at the base of it, and it seems to be quite high and rocky, and doesn't look like it would be an easy thing to traverse, and just sort of slowly meandered around from the distance over time. And it just so happens that where we are now, this cliff has risen quite tall on our west side, and there's nothing, but the east side's completely barren. But yeah, west side is this sheer kind of large cliff face.
So there's nothing really to hide behind or generally.
There's not a great deal of land features at the moment,
Hide
no.
behind the car. Jump out the back and hide behind the car.
True.
Do a Frodo, put your elven cloak on, and just be a rock.
Yeah.
Shifting rock.
Yeah.
But it's more about trying to figure out what's up ahead, right? Which I can't necessarily do if I can't get there. Unless I just appear like a different traveller that didn't come in a giant car.
You can try that.
You got some wigs.
Got some wigs. Got a lilac frilly
Got
dress.
some wigs.
I'm a
on the
lady.
dress.
Yeah, Silver's going to jump out. He's going to roll stealth just because it's what he does. And start meandering over.
Okay.
It's not powerful, it's 15.
Okay.
That's all right. The vehicle itself will be quite a distraction.
Yeah, quite a distraction.
Yeah. I think so.
And we'll get out of the car and just head towards them, I think.
Sure.
Make sure you we can activate the car.
I'm disconnecting the accumulator and bagging it if we're leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you're leaving the car here.
You don't really need to take the accumulator with you. I mean, it's going to take anybody who looks at it a while to figure out how to use it.
Can't be risking that.
I'd
We'll
take
stay
it
with the car then.
Don't leave the keys in the ignition.
Absolutely. Take it with us.
Pull out a couple of leads or something.
No, take it
Try
with
the
us.
accumulator. Well, it's
Just put it in the
fine.
bag.
We'll pull the accumulator, yeah, put it in there. Put it in the car for
What if we need to make a quick getaway again?
Yeah, we'll pull it out. Be alright.
We know.
Don't worry, it'll be fine. Yeah, we can connect up.
Okay.
So you're removing the accumulator,
Yeah.
leaving the car here.
How far are we from our
How far would you like to be?
How far are we currently? 100 feet?
Well,
We're like 100 feet?
you get vision for quite a while. You get vision. It's a clear day. Mile and a half, something like that. You can probably see ahead of you, so you could stop a long way away.
I've got a vehicle now. Expect me to walk a mile?
But it's completely flat, but for this cliff.
Yeah.
So you're probably you could stop. You get the first sighting of these people about that distance.
Okay, so alright, so we're about a mile and a half away. What are we going to do? Before we do all this getting out and stuff, we'll decide what we're going to do.
Well, we don't know what this place is. We're looking for slick mines, right?
Yeah. So
The
we
sweet
could just
mines.
go and ask.
We are looking for certain things for the sweet mines.
I prefer just to barrel on through at this point and get the hell out of the Elven Kingdom before somebody finds who we are.
Made to right.
I'm happy with that.
Introduces us to Equa very quickly and we're all executed for
I'm happy.
various crimes.
Yeah, we've got the modes and the method. I'm quite happy to just get gone. To be honest, I'm with you. Get my vote.
Oh, the slick mines in the Elven. They're in the Elven Kingdom.
Yeah, they are.
The sweet mines.
Sweet mines, yes. Sorry.
You believe them to be. That's what The biddy told you.
We know there's problems for the Wood Elf. Guy's
Mhm.
probably got something to say about that. We know we need to go to the other side and seek the Red Eyes. Or not seek the Red Eyes, it's a little bit cryptic, but something about them.
We have made some
We've also
previous
got
promises
this-
to
We've
people.
also got this Duster Nasser, this character that, or whatever that we've got to find.
Yeah,
Don't remember that one.
It's
that
a
was when
message.
the lady
Portuguese
went
tart.
horns.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Like egg tart, not like-
Duster Nasser.
So,
Well,
we're
I
looking-
don't know if it's a person or a thing or.
so Sweet Mines is an unguarded burrow to the northeast of the main camp. So we'd be looking for a camp. They would know the Sweet Mines
This
when
could
we
be the
got
camp.
there. I
This could be a
think.
camp, yeah.
We got some business there. I'm not gonna lie. The gnomes' lands was full of windsocks, and none of you lot cared. We left. Just gonna say that. We had rumours, and nobody cared. So I know.
But we're miles away from that.
I know. But we've got some.
The Elven Lands is fairly close.
It is fairly
And it
close.
gets us out of here without being executed.
I'd like to go to the Sweet Mines. We have some unfinished business with some old. We have an old companion that's passed away, and we've heard some of his kin are in the Sweet Mines. We've got the daughter of my sensei, Gore Elizabeth. No, the mother of Gore Elizabeth potentially in the Sweet Mines. Somebody has. Are you carrying the
I've got a quest.
Yeah, we've got a quest.
We are
Sweet
supposed to
Mines.
be helping people.
Okay.
It's on the way.
If I joined you guys, I'm willing to follow.
It's on the
But
way.
the longer we stay here, the more likely we're going to be casted
With
back
Sweet
in a
Mines-
cage.
You don't know.
They've got to catch us first. We can go fast.
True.
Tell you something interesting. Weir is not a human. He was an Osai. Did you see the scars?
No way.
Did you see the scars under his shirt?
I did.
Yeah, it said he got caught stealing. That's what they do to people who get caught stealing.
Have you got proof of purchase for that vehicle?
Yeah, just my being. I think.
Can you make some proof of purchase? For
Take me
us?
a while, but I could try.
Well, I would be a gnomish thing. I'm not gonna have no elvish proof of purchase.
True.
We don't have trade to the elves, then sell back to us. We're not that. They don't monopolise us that much.
As long as we don't steal from the Osai.
Yeah.
I think that is a thing.
We would never do that.
Yeah, we haven't got
Just
arms.
one person.
Us?
We haven't got arms to lose.
Mark had never stole anyone from something who's living.
I will.
Wood elves grow their limbs back when they get chopped off.
I hope
Do
that's
they?
true.
And if Thorinir gets beheaded
Yeah.
between the hours of dusk and dawn, his head grows back.
Okay, nice. I remember that.
I think that's what they said at school. I didn't pay that much attention, but I'm pretty sure
That's not the
Thorinir
sort
believes
of. That's
that.
not the sort of thing you want to say to a bunch like this, because we might get very, very drunk one night and give it a go.
That is true.
It might have just been fingers. I can't
Right.
remember.
So,
Do we look like we're approaching a camp? We see people. Can we see a camp on the horizon?
I mean, you give me
Do we see
perception
miners?
roll with disadvantage because you're so far away at the moment. You get disadvantage anyway. You're
Oh,
exhausted.
yeah, it's 2. It's not.
Oh no, you're not.
No, I'm not
You're
looking
remove
anymore.
that.
Covered in
Remove
It's
that.
like a 4 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
no idea. It's just a blur. There's the two. The
it's a
two.
3
You
actually.
haven't got as good vision as these guys because you're so low to the ground. Can't quite see the horizon
does
as
it
well.
look like a military
We're
checkpoint?
too far away. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably have to get a bit closer to determine
Shall
much
we?
more.
Back in the car.
Let's drive
Shall we?
closer.
Back in the car, get a
I
bit
think
closer.
it's probably
rock
best
out.
I drive now, because
Yeah,
if we get
yeah.
pulled over, if anybody's going to question the gnomish device, we might as well have the gnome driving the gnomish device,
Very well,
just in case.
if you insist.
Drive a bit closer.
Yeah.
We
Steady.
pretend we're somebody we're not.
Have
If
they
you
got
say
any
ourselves
hidden
in it.
compartments we can sit in, or any sacks we can sit under?
Probably not. I don't know. What you got? Your
Bedrolls under
investigation.
the back?
There's not really any items
Get in the
in the
booth.
vehicle.
You have to
Just-
get underneath it and hold on.
Oh,
Avoid the drivetrain.
Well, I mean, if we've all got bedrolls, we can be on the back seat, under.
delivering
Blankets, under
delivering
blankets.
3 bedrolls.
I think that'd be weirder with just a gnome just cruising around
A
the
little
elven
bedroll.
land on his own.
Just
Just
3 bedrolls.
yeah,
on
just
the
3
seats,
bedrolls. That's good.
yeah. Clearly covering 3 people.
Have you guys ever pretended you're a travelling group of performers, by any chance?
Yes,
If we look like a travelling group of performers, have we
Yeah.
ever tried that?
we
That's-
yes
yeah.
we have.
Yeah.
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 Oh, damn. How did it go?
Didn't work.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
I'll
Interesting.
never put that player on again.
Good saying.
Well, Claro's not here. He was the main line for
Yeah.
We're going to advance slowly.
Right.
Zolan's a cautious driver.
Okay,
Yeah,
driving
just
slowly.
Be, so try and get directions to the mine if you can, and be prepared to have a sudden and quick getaway.
Yeah. It's alright. I think I'm escorting our noble friend here. I'm sure you have some documents, Silden.
Try my best.
Yes. If anything, I'm a chauffeur to this noble elf. You are a slave.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm the biddy.
I don't think you know what that means, do you? I mean, yeah. Well, we get XP if we give out the
Will I lose XP?
Yeah.
And of course, you had to
Taking
go
it
Yeah.
from someone.
These sort of tent-like structures, are they going across the road? Are they blocking the
No, they're
road?
just the side of the road. They're very, very flat, low, only a couple of foot high,
Not hot.
but just long, kind of 12-foot long, narrow things.
Okay.
Stale biscuit. Going down good.
Let's go.
Okay. So driving, sorry, and then do you want to just keep going like until you arrive at them, or how soon would you
They're
stop
going about
for them?
nonchalant now. This is completely normal.
Yeah.
Like, you're
To
going to try and
us,
drive
This is a
through.
completely normal scenario.
Every day.
Every day, yeah.
Yeah. So you're,
Yeah.
are you going to plan to stop at them, or are you
We'll
going
be-
to try and move beyond them?
We'll probably just, if somebody looked respectable, pull alongside, ask for some directions.
Sure.
Wave.
As far as
Toss
we-
the scarf back round.
As far as we're
And
concerned,
go.
it's them who are at fault for not knowing what this is.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So you drive closer and closer and closer again. You've got
Raising
this,
it out.
this cliff on your right hand side. You're heading south, so it's on the cliff's on the west side. And you get closer and closer to this checkpoint. As you get nearer and nearer, there's clearly a slight mobilisation, as it were, of this area. You know, people are sort of not as huddled around, just chatting. They're sort of getting into sort of positions and sort of readying themselves for your arrival. And just, sort of mobilising. You get nearer and nearer, and this is very clearly it's just a checkpoint. It's very obviously a checkpoint of some nature, even though there's not that same wall that you saw at the cairn. And as you near closer and closer, probably within 100 feet, a couple of them kind of put their hand up as if to sort of motion you to stop.
I'll look around. We'll slow down. We'll pull up.
There's two of them approach you, and they're dressed in slightly different attire. They're actually wearing, many of them are wearing actually a form of shorts, which is quite unusual. You don't see that very commonly. Such a hot day that you assume wearing any more serious armour would be a poor choice. So a form of shorts, sort of all brown tops, but clearly, even though it's an unusual one, it looks like appropriate attire for this weather. And it's all still uniformed between them all. They're on these little tent structures on the right hand, on the east side of the road, the left as you're looking. There's now 3 people sat in a chair at the tail end of this tent-like structure, sort of a wooden frame around it as well. It's a very unusual structure. You're not completely sure what it is. There's people like sat at the end of each one of these things now, their legs sort of in it a bit. There's then a number of these sort of soldiers, guards, whatever they may be, gathered round, a couple on either side. None of them are sort of holding weapons or anything like that at you. A few of them clearly have scabbards and hilts and hilts exposed and like. There's a couple of bows on backs and things like that, but no one's got anything drawn. Doesn't look super hostile at the moment. And then there's this signpost in these different directions, and these 2 individuals are approaching you. both of whom they look quite similar to one another. They've both got sort of shoulder length hair. One of them's slightly mousy brown, and the other a darker brown. And they come over to you. They're both quite tanned, and they approach and they speak in Elvish. What are you doing here? Addressing you as a whole.
Driving south.
Who are these?
These are some companions of mine. I require them to do certain work for the kingdom.
Go on.
Well, I'm wondering if you can tell me if the sweet mines are around here. You seem like the kind of person who would know.
They are.
Well, good. We have business there. That's excellent news. How close are they?
You do.
That's right.
And unusual to be travelling with this group. Is that a wood elf?
It is. What elf are known and human? You see them as well as I do.
Just an unusual party.
They're unusual, but then again, we do very unusual work.
Have you got any papers on you?
Of course.
He reaches his hand out.
Yeah, he's going to hand over his. He's going to hand over the. Is he there? Is he going to do that? Yeah, alright, he's going to do it. He's going to hand over the document showing that he's working under the guise of the Justigrees.
While we're here, can we see the road sign?
You can give me a perception roll to see how well you can make it out. A little bit of a squint, but
Ooh, that's not very good. That is 8.
8. You can probably make out the one to the left and the right, but not the others. So the one to your left, which is turning to the east, reads Sweet Mine. The one
I know it was going to be that way.
to your right, which is west, reads Keyhole and Angles.
That sounds great.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like there'd be a good tavern there.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice
yeah.
bar.
Oh, that could be the name of the pub.
Mm.
Um,
It's never a pub. It's one thing I've learned about Asher.
so you make that. That was a lovely one in Callus.
It was, yeah.
Keyhole and
It's
angles.
never a good pub.
Keyhole and angles.
And Angles, yeah. Written
Think
in
about
Elvish,
band.
by the way, all of this.
I already know Nish.
Elvish.
Elvish.
Elvish. The other one stood next to him.
Mm-hmm.
People are looking for a wood elf at the moment.
Are they? That's interesting.
And a gnome.
Isn't that interesting?
And a dog.
And Tom.
Wow.
Oh, we haven't got a dog.
Nope.
Lift up your bedrolls.
Nothing
for a
to see
dog.
here.
Yeah.
And we see what you've got there. They're just trying to frisk you, effectively. Search your possessions, search you as individuals.
Just read the
Look
document.
around.
It's going to save you some time.
The other one is taking the document, but the second guy is looking around the car. So what does the document say?
It basically says
this-
that Sildon's acting as a Justigre.
Roughly translates to mind your own fucking business. This
You rolled a natural 20, just to...
this Keyhole and Angles, is that a tavern or anything?
He just takes the paper and walks away from you. He hears you, but takes
We
the
need
paper
that
and
back when
walks
you're done
away.
with it.
Walks away from you, sort of back towards some of the others. Just really studying it. The other guy's still sort of looking through your possessions, trying to work out. Looking for a dog, looking through, trying to see
There's
where.
no dog in here, I promise you.
It's got a compartment. He's trying to look around to see if there's any hatches or anything. He's investigating your vehicle.
Have a look. Not to worry.
Sort of just having a look all over and under and in and out.
There isn't a dog in the glove compartment.
I hope she didn't have a dog.
I think would have. I'd been looking and scanning. I've probably been worried that they've taken the bit of paperwork away. Probably would have. I hope I would have clocked the bloke seemed a bit suspicious. and I'm going to reach into the satchel because we've still got the amulets of the Justicrees. And I'm going to pull that one out and pass it as well back to Silden.
Oh, sweet.
Hopefully sleight of hand.
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand roll.
Hopefully to confirm if they want some. It's a 16.
Fine. Yeah, you fairly surreptitiously manoeuvre it back to Silden.
So slip it off.
You like my ride? She's a beauty.
It's the best way to travel.
Only way to travel.
What are the odds that we're looking for a gnome, a wood elf, and a dog, and 2 of you come riding down this road?
Well, lots of
Lots of
gnomes in this area. The wood elf forest is just down there. I've just come from a wood elf up in the farm.
There are not many wood elves in Asher.
Well, I've seen one today.
Did you? Now that you mention it, didn't she have a dog?
She did have a dog. And there was no gnome though that I can.
Well, there wasn't.
No, it
No.
was. Don't you remember that?
Fina?
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
the fella.
Fifina.
That's the bloke. Yeah, there was
Fifina.
back in the. Oh God, miles back.
Yeah.
There's
What was
just
that
this
place
sort
called?
of.
Rathna Sal Hathna.
The wood elf we're looking for is not a woman.
I didn't say it was a woman.
It's hard to tell.
You did.
You did? Did he? Well, there was quite a few there. I
Very
mean,
androgynous.
there was quite a few.
She could have been a woman.
They, you know,
I don't see gender.
there was a lot of them there, but there was definitely a wood elf and at least one gnome.
The papers have. It's now the guy with the papers is talking to another few individuals who are in this checkpoint. They're clearly checking them thoroughly.
We might have to
Kind
fight,
of the UV lamp.
we might have to fight our
For
way
the
out of
water
this.
mark.
It's going to be fine.
I think it's fine, it's fine. You'd think, in all honesty, if you was to hear reports of a dog, a wood elf, and a gnome, I would have thought you'd have heard reports of this carrying automobile rotator. I think this is the unusual
very good
part
point.
of this.
Oh yeah.
Did he mention that in the report?
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
We're going to the sweet mines. We're sent. Apparently, you have a number of slaves there, which we investigate. They're meant to have some information that can lead us to someone.
So I can understand why a Justice Crew would be there. But who the hell are these three?
When you have to understand the way that people work, you need certain people from certain backgrounds to help you investigate.
Specialists.
This is a busy man. I'm just the driver.
I had to get here in a hurry.
Take a
Driver?
deception roll.
Driver.
Ooh,
Advisor.
good go.
Bodyguard. Specialist. See.
Yeah, you got your military rank.
It's not great. 13.
Just looking at you. Give us a minute.
I will have my military rank out to emphasise the point of being his bodyguard.
Don't go anywhere yet. And he
Makes
sort of
sense.
he walks back towards the rest of the group, and they're probably 100 feet away from where you are. These the main bulk of the people are gathered sort of in the just next to the centre of the crossroads. You guys are sort of out of earshot of everybody. at
How
the
many
moment.
of them look soldiery or armed?
I mean, they all look military in some
Right.
vein.
Maybe I can try and sort this one out.
Not going to be able to
Dispatch
fight.
them like the last one.
Not gonna be able
No,
to
there's
fight
too far
our
too
way
many
out.
of us.
So you're a brave man.
Sylvan's gonna slip out the car and very openly, with his arms up, just slowly walk about halfway towards this group of people.
Okay.
Until they notice him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. A couple of them are sort of very, very aware of you.
Yeah.
Wait there.
He's then going to try, on the off chance, to use thieves' camp, and he's going to move his hands and just put legit Justico. See what happens.
Okay.
And then if they'll let him, he'll bring the amulet out of his jacket.
One of them looks over. Sees. I think might be a Justice Crew. The guy so 2 or 3 of them walk towards you now.
Yeah.
The ones that were looking at this paper. Something's not right about this.
Really? Seems odd. News to me. What did you find?
This document, where'd you get it?
I was given it.
By who?
Well, when you were inaugurated, you get a document to show to people to make sure they don't hold you up at crossroads.
So then we might have to make a run for this.
We ain't running nowhere because we got wheels.
That's what I meant.
Where have you been?
Village just up the way, or quite a long way up the way.
Where?
Awful lot of women.
Resna
know
So
that.
Hafner.
That's the one.
Okay. Where were you before that?
Before that, the Great Now. Spetakaza.
A couple of them look at each other. How long ago was that?
Gosh, all the days sort of run together.
And what about before that?
Before that, well, then we start going into strictly confidential territory.
You see, it's funny that because we're looking for some people that fit this group's description pretty well. Not you. So if you've got a reason to be with them as a justiciary that we don't know about, then it's a good idea to let us know. But we're on instruction. If we find the people that I think are in that car right now, that vehicle, that thing right now, to send for the justiciaries.
You're doing an admirable job, and I obviously respect what you're trying to do. But if you're looking for them, and you're being told to send for the justiciaries, perhaps you're witnessing something happen here that means that they've already been alerted.
What are they under suspicion of?
You don't want to know what these people have done.
We heard reports of an assassination at Spetakaza. We heard reports of blood-sucking creatures. And we heard reports of an explosion at the Bastion, which we think these people are responsible for.
They're very dangerous people. If it is them.
One more deception roll.
Squeaky time. Squeaky time. 26.
Ooh. Suck on that bitch.
And they look around at one another.
Looking at his back and thinking, hey,
Looks confident.
It's not obvious which one's the boss here. There's no,
Yeah.
there's not an obvious
Don't know where to
ranking
look.
per se. Okay. Well, we're under instruction to escort any justiciaries should they require or should they find the targets. So, where are you actually headed?
Well, first off, these people are looking for 2 individuals. I'm helping it play out. 2 slaves. They mentioned a sea elf. Does that ring any bells?
Don't know.
It's a shame. I want to get out of here as fast as possible because if they are dangerous, I don't want what allegedly happened to the Bastion to happen here. So I want to get them away somewhere safer, somewhere out of the Elven Kingdom. allow me to do my work, but only as long as they think I'm one of them.
So where do you need escorting?
We could travel straight south to the Wood Elves. I haven't heard any reports of anything untoward's happening there. Give us the cover of the trees, make it very quick work.
Okay. If that's what you'd like.
Be an absolute pleasure if you wouldn't mind.
A couple of them look by. Another one says, he's sure. Look at mouths. Are you sure?
This will be the point that Zola goes at the beep beep. In every movie, someone always, beep beep. Yeah, I'm coming.
He passes you your paper back.
Much obliged.
There's definite tension here. We feel a bead of perspiration roll down here.
It's all down the back.
Yeah. And the guy sort of turns around, let them through, and he goes across to these canvas-like tent structures, these long, 12-foot long, sort of slightly pointed, very narrow structures with the person sat at each end, with these kind of winged-like bows coming out either side of them, and he sort of goes across them and just says a few words quietly to them. They all don a pair of goggles in these different tent-like wooden structures, and then they turn back across and he gestures you through to your vehicle.
Cool. Sylvan's going to head back.
So we're still looking for a dog, is that right?
Yes.
Anyone else?
They mentioned another magic user, but they lost him a long while ago back in a village called Wick. It's a loose end. Don't know where he is. The dog is an interesting one. I ran into him. I saw him only briefly. Didn't seem very alive at the party. Sort of disappeared. It was very connected with the name for some reason. Keep an eye out for him. He might be following us. If he follows us to town.
We will. May I ask your name?
Sylvan.
Please.
Much obliged,
Gestures the vehicle. Selden, you're welcome to return to it.
Yeah, we'll do.
And as you do so and you fire, restart the engine, presumably.
Let's go.
The smoke bellows out again. You can make out the signposts better now that you're here. So yeah, to the which side did I say the Sweet Mine was? The east side.
Yeah.
So the east side is the Sweet Mine. To the west side is the Keyhole and Angles. To the north side, Rasna Selhathna, where you've just come from, and to the south it says the Polyliths.
Let's just shout and ask. What's the keyhole? Is it an inn?
It's like a bypass.
Can you have a shower? Or a bath rather, they haven't got showers.
No.
No. What about the polysmith?
The Polyliths.
Polyliths. What's the polyliths?
Just drive carefully through there.
Okay.
Should be fine.
Any reason?
Just be careful.
Okay. Where to, sir?
We're heading south. Continue on. Don't stop.
Not left.
Vehicle heading
South.
South.
south. So past the turning for the Sweet Mines, past the turning for the Keyhole and Angles, you head towards the Polyliths. As you do so, these canvas tented items, you hear suddenly a sound coming from each of them as well, not
They got
dissimilar
one.
to your engines.
Oh dear.
you realise that they are very long, narrow vehicles of some description,
Whoa.
covered in a canvas-like structure all along.
Now
with,
this
like
is
a
pod racing.
hollow wooden frames, and then these small sort of look like sort of angled wings on either side. Very narrow, thin, long structures, low to the ground, with them sat at the far end with their goggles on. About 3 of these vehicles.
Do these look anything like the thing that we saw Benji and Derek flying?
No.
Right.
No.
Land vehicle. Similar. Yeah.
What you notice as you're sort of pulling alongside and as you turn back and look at them, there's this immense thrust coming from underneath in some fashion into the ground like this. And then what you see quite incredibly, out of the ends of these wing-like structures either side come these great jets of freezing water, which shoot 8 to 12 feet in front of them.
Wow.
Equally, on either side, as they angle around, fire these jets out, which makes this high-pitched ice-like sound as it hits the ground. And the vehicles, at this amazing display, run on rails over this ice.
Yeah.
So the frame of the vehicle itself acts as a
It's like a toboggan, and it's making its
as a
own
sled,
skate.
exactly,
Ice
and it
rink.
shoots 8 to 12 feet in front of it at all times, and creates this road for itself, shooting across. So this scorched, barren, dry world with this ice on these perfect rails 12 foot in front of you at all times, and that is where we will leave tonight's episode.
Zola felt special for a day.
Never mind. Yeah. And now we're obsolete.
Yeah.
Well done, everyone. Cool, it's bloody hot in here, isn't it?
It's
Bloody hot in
I've
here.
got a sweat on.
That was close.
Yeah.
That was close. We almost had to murder another village.
Yeah, that's a couple of big dice rolls in there. A couple of big dice rolls. Well done, everybody. We will be back next time. You think where you're headed? We'll be back next time, which will either be next week or the week following. So yeah, we may take a week off next week because you're unavailable, aren't you?
It's meant to be 28 degrees.
Is it? Yeah. So
Wow.
it may be 2 weeks until the next episode.
That's going to be Swamp House City.
There's Swamp House.
2 weeks to the next episode. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
It may not.
Thanks,
It might not be. It might not. I'll put it on Twitter.
We'll put it on Twitter.
I'll put it on Twitter. We might be able to do a session next week.
I'll just go to the grey place.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, we
It'll
might
be
be able
the
to.
filler episode where we just go and get ice cream.
So
It might be
29.
right. It might be
Yeah,
It'll be a car chase.
Yeah. We all
The
just go
whole
to the
episode
beach.
will be a car
It's
chase.
the anime filler episode where everyone goes to the beach.
to the beach.
Thank you very much,
3 separate
guys.
stories.
GG, well
Thank
played.
you.
Thank you.
We thank you very much, anyone that stuck around to watch our nonsense.
Thank you.
And until next time, we have been done.